Call the meeting order, new business flood protection zoning regulations revisions, preliminary discussion.
You might want to just identify it as a special meeting.
It's a special meeting, 6 p.m., 6:03 p.m., Town Hall Annex, Room 2, Community Room 2, 134 Groton Point, Long Point Road, Groton.
Well done.
Thank you.
Evening, gentlemen. Tonight we have David Prescott, who is the town of Groton. He's a planner in the planning department, and he's the assigned flood manager for the town of Groton as well. And we have Deb Jones, who is the assistant director of the planning and development department here in the town as well. They are going to give you a presentation and have maybe some brief communication a little bit later on, or some brief back and forth about some flood activity or some flood regulation upgrades that are being considered, that are being looked at right now. There's some studies going on surrounding some of this stuff. David has a plethora of information to share with you guys regarding statistics in the historic district, in specifically different flood zones in the historic district, number of buildings and stuff. And with that, I'll hand it off to him. Our goal tonight is to kind of just make you guys aware that these flood regulations exist, make you aware that we are that there's updates being proposed, and make you aware that it's going to affect when these regulations, if drafted and adopted, are likely going to drive some changes in what you guys see. We're doing this in collaboration with what we are intending to do with your handbook down the road from now. We're going to try to make this a collaborative thing, so there are complementary documents, and we can try to avoid some of the conflicts of being approved in zoning and then hitting roadblocks at HDC that have happened historically. With that, I'll hand it off to Dave.
All right, good evening. So again, my name is Dave Prescott. I am the floodplain manager as well as a planner here for the town of Groton. So today, we just want to start a conversation with the commission just to kind of talk about what we've been thinking about, some of the changes that are coming down the pipe and whatnot, and just kind of really educate you a little bit more and offer the opportunity to kind of ask questions at the end and whatnot. So we have a little script that we kind of put together. We'll kind of go through the things, kind of check off. We'll kind of all probably tap in here and there, but I'll kind of I'll start everything off. So, flood maps. What you have in front of you, I don't know if you want to, do you want to pop this up there?
I can, yeah.
People?
Just
make sure it's on.
that.
That's right. I can't remember which way it's supposed to. Oh yeah, that.
Thanks for commission.
Zoom you out a little bit.
Yeah, that's good.
You can, by color, I think you
Yeah,
can
that's
do
pretty good.
a pretty
Okay.
good description.
Perfect. As you're probably aware, the town has flood maps. We have these firms, which are flood insurance rate maps. The last time that these were produced was 2013. So these are almost 12 years old. These are available for anyone in the public to come and see. They're also available online. So our GIS coordinator put together this map for us to talk about, and we'll talk about kind of the structures underneath your jurisdiction that you would be looking at. But again, the last time this area was mapped specifically for the coastal zone was 2013. There have been some new maps that have been put forward for inland portions of the town that we reviewed, and sometime they're going to get published. But really the ones that we're waiting for are the coastal maps. 2013, in theory, took into account Sandy. But since that point, we haven't really had a major storm until about the last couple of years ago, where we had a couple of significant storms in the wintertime, both in 2023 and 2024, which caused flooding just below the Hurricane Sandy flood heights. So it was significant flooding in downtown. I think there were like 3 or 4 events there. So this is happening. It's not the big hurricane or tropical storm, but you know, oftentimes in the winter with nor'easters, we have a nor'easter coming this weekend, in theory. So who knows what's going to happen? It's also a king tide. A king tide is an astronomically high tide or a full moon tide. That's actually coming this weekend too, or it's coming the next couple of days. But again, we have had some significant flooding since the last time the maps were made. These maps here do not take into account future conditions. They do not take into account future sea level, any other climate change impacts or whatnot. So they're only based upon the past. And circa, which is the Connecticut Institute for Resilience and Climate Adaptation, their data has shown that as a state, we should be planning for an additional 20 inches of sea level rise by 2050, which of course these don't take into account. Any of these maps don't take into account. So looking at the map here, we have a bunch of different colors. The most vulnerable areas are these dark blue areas. These are the VE zones, which are basically the velocity zones. These are where you can expect during a base flood. So a base flood is what has historically been known as the 100-year flood. FEMA and others have really been moving away from that 100-year flood term, and
Because it happens all the time.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So now they're really trying to push towards the 1% annual chance, which means that there isn't any storm that comes up the coast. There is a 1% chance each and every year that storm can hit, and it can hit multiple times too as well. The next zone is actually this kind of like dotted line here, which is actually known as the LIMWA, which is the limit of moderate wave action. This separates out the AE zones, and the AE zones are basically between, you know, a little bit more than 0 feet up to 3 feet. There are some light blue areas in here that fall in the LIMWA, and that basically means you can expect waves between 1.5 and 3 feet. And then you also have a bunch of AE zones, which are less than 1.5 feet. Finally, the yellow colors on here are the X zone. That again was historically known as the 500-year flood area. Now they call it the 0.2% annual chance. So again, 0.2%.
Dave, could you just describe in context what they're looking at for a map, the area where it covers
Yes.
from top to bottom?
Yeah,
Just
sure.
For anybody who's looking
On there. So
generally.
basically, what we're showing on here, this is not our entire flood map for the community, but this is the flood map that includes the area that's within your jurisdiction in downtown Mystic.
Yep.
So basically starting from up in north in River Road, going down Star, you know, Pearl, Gravel, downtown, Water, past Fort Rachel, and then down Noank Road and down to the end there. So that's kind of the area of which this whole map here is actually showing this the downtown Mystic Historic District. And again, those are the flood areas there. Under the jurisdiction of HDC, there are 617 structures within this area here. Within the most vulnerable area, so the 1% of the 100-year storm, there are actually 153 major structures and 78 outbuildings. So to put that in context, that's about 220, 230 out of the 617 structures that are within the flood zone. Currently, that's it right now. If we get updated maps, most likely we'll see these lines move inland because we have had more sea level rise has risen, and we have had more data to kind of show where the flooding is. So that will add more. But right now you can think about the fact that of the 617 structures, about a third of them are within the flood zone. And obviously, you know, we do expect that number to increase. So we do have flood regulations. We've had flood regulations for a while. And as Tim has mentioned, we are looking to update them because of a number of different reasons. As we use these flood regulations more, and there is more development within the coastal zone, we find areas where we can improve. And, you know, the flood regulations there are not just are not there to make things harder, but they're there to protect the property, they protect that investment of the owner, as well as to protect lives. And that's why those are there. But sometimes those they can conflict with other guidelines and other stuff that you guys are specifically working on. And I think most recently, a lot of the projects that you guys have been looking at as a commission are mostly, some mechanical stuff, some elevation of the mechanicals. I think you guys had some propane tanks within the flood zone. You have had a few commercial buildings and other buildings within the flood zone. So in terms of some of the regulations that are being considered, nothing is in stone right now, but this is some of the regulations that are being considered right now have to do with our existing regs and improving upon them. So one of the big one is substantial improvement. So anytime any work is done within the flood zone that is more than 50% of the appraised costs, that's normally where that cost comes down. So that means anything for repairs to new constructions to additions or to whatnot. Anytime it's more than 50%, that is a substantial improvement. And under FEMA regulations and our regulations, as well as building code regulations, the property owner is required to bring that structure into compliance.
The entire structure.
The entire,
Right.
Not
exactly.
Just the addition, not
Yep.
just what.
When you get to 50% of the,
Appraised value. So
Value of the
of the structure, not the property. Yeah.
But if they phase it, let's say they phase it over a number of years.
Yes. And we're gonna get to, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
and that's a great question because that's often historically how it's happened. And we're gonna talk a little bit about substantial improvement, the phasing and whatnot. So right now we have a 1-year look back. So that means that after the building permit is issued, and if they phased a project or whatnot, as long as they stay under the 50%, they can come back in a year and apply for the next phase of the project and whatnot.
And typically with a new appraisal,
Right.
because they've done some work.
right,
So, right?
right. Keep moving the bar.
Exactly.
Right. But most communities under the guidance of the state floodplain coordinator as well as FEMA are really saying that to keep kicking that ball down the street is not making your community any more resilient. So we are considering a longer look back period. Whether that, and that's kind of up in the air of what that is. Some communities go 2 years, some go all the way to 10 years. We're most likely not going that far. That in our mind, that's way too far. But if we can move towards being, really protecting property owners, their investment, and also lives when a major storm comes through, that's really kind of our goal there. So
And we don't want to discourage people from making improvements.
exactly,
Which is something we might do with a 10-year look back.
yes,
We're also cognizant of, there are flood zone areas, in areas that are historically less well off than Mystic. And again, we don't want to penalize those folks from making improvements. So it's a balance. Not sure where we're gonna land, pretty sure it's not 10, right? But
Right.
it's gonna be more than the end.
There's, if I could just weigh in on that, we've had some recommendations given to us for different reasons. And I think that the 2-year to 3-year would make it inconvenient enough to phase it that a person may likely say, okay, I'm just gonna do the whole project at this point. And that's something that's been presented to us when considering the time, adopting the time for the look back.
so that's one we're looking at. Another one is looking at the base flood elevation heights. So right now, those base flood elevations are dictated by the FEMA maps. And both our flood regulations as well as building code say that if you build a structure, either a substantially improved structure, a substantially damaged structure, or a new structure within the flood zone, you have to build to base flood elevation +1. All right, so that's there has been some movement towards really looking at increasing that to protect property. One of the big ones is looking at specifically a critical infrastructure because that's town-owned property, things like pump stations and whatnot, and looking at a BFE +3. So basically allowing for a higher height to help protect that there. And then for all other structures, potentially a base flood elevation +2 instead of the base flood elevation +1.
So Dave, downtown Mystic, right along West Main.
Yep.
What's the elevation generally down there?
Yeah, the 10, 11, yeah,
Okay.
10, 11, 12, yeah, somewhere
So
in there.
maybe starting at 11 or 12,
Yep.
right? Or more if you are reconstructing.
And what does it mean that the sill or like the top of the foundation?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's the first floor living level.
Yeah.
First floor living
12
room.
Dave, back up a minute,
Sure.
real quick. You gave a pretty good explanation on substantial improvement. And then you mentioned substantial damage.
Yes, all right, so yes.
So they know that that's in the,
It's another, there's another, so substantial improvement and substantial damage are almost one and the same. It's just what you're doing there. So perfect example is Central Hall. Central Hall was completely destroyed by a fire. So there's nothing left. So in order for them to, now that's not, they are trying to improve, but they're trying to come back from a disaster. So they would have to do the same thing. So that's why if you look at Central Hall, there are flood vents underneath that whole thing. It's raised up higher. The living floors are much higher up below there. And they brought that whole property into floodplain compliance, but that was a damaged one.
Do the regulations apply to commercial buildings? So all those
Yes.
properties, okay,
Yes.
but they're essentially street
So
level.
yeah, so there, and I'm gonna get into that because that's another thing that we want to provide some guidance on what the opportunities and what the options are out there for it. So there are some differences between residential structures as well as commercial. But again, like, you know, I want to finish up one thing about that base flood elevation +2. So every time you're trying to raise something more than what the basic is, that thing's gonna cost way too much, gonna cost way too much. So there are right now 22 communities in the state that have a base flood elevation +2 or greater. In order to raise that floor level an additional foot, the construction costs increase by 2%. Just 2%. Because you're already doing most of the work anyways to get it to that level, but the flood risk really decreases, as well as your cost of flood insurance really decreases too. So we feel that this might be a way to start looking for, again, becoming more resilient as a community and whatnot, to look at these higher base flood
This is
elevation
for
buildings.
new construction.
For new or substantially improved.
Substantially
Yes, yep.
improved.
Yep, or damage,
or
yep.
substantially damaged. We get a
Or
big storm that
substantially
comes
damaged.
through and, you know, moves buildings off their foundations. You're gonna have to really look at the cost
Yeah.
of what's gonna happen
Yeah.
to put it back, and if that's going to trigger flood compliant construction.
Do the online GIS maps note the base flood elevation for every
Yeah.
property?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Not
Or-
It's-
That's
for the
Area.
area.
yeah, they have spot
Okay.
elevation.
Yeah,
Spot
yeah.
You gotta kind of look around. They're in there. When you
They're in-
turn it on, you gotta kind of look around, but they're in
Okay.
there.
But that being said, if you go to FEMA's website, which is not being updated right now, but if you go to their flood mapper, you can actually put in a property and it will show you exactly what the base flood elevation is there without having to search around on a GIS. So there's a lot of other resources that are out there where you can actually look and get that number.
Is FEMA got a scheduled for an update?
Yes, they had a schedule. We were actually supposed to see the new coastal maps, the draft coastal maps, the beginning of this year. It now sounds like they're a couple years out in terms of we get that. And then, you know, then there's a review time. So what we've been hearing is most likely by 2028-ish, we should see the new coastal maps coming forward, you know, basically being ready to be adopted to send down to the towns or cities to get adopted on the local level. And that would change, you know, all of our
All
mapping and
elements,
stuff.
yeah.
Yep. So back to your question about you know, opportunities for commercial versus residential. For residential, basically, if you have a substantially improved, substantially damaged, or new construction, your options are to elevate. Okay, if you are a commercial structure, you have an option to floodproof. Okay, so there's two different types of floodproofing. There is wet floodproofing, which allows the flood waters to go through the building, whether that's through flood vents or other options. And then there's also dry floodproofing, which basically means that you seal the entire building from the outside, so that water cannot penetrate there. But again, you have to seal it to base flood right now, currently as the standards are, as our regulations are, building and zoning regs. If you were to do either of those, you need to do it to base flood elevation +1.
What was the term for residential
Is elevation.
elevation?
Yep.
Interesting.
Now, onto elevation, right? Because that's one of the challenges there. So what has been found with a lot of other coastal cities and towns is that when someone comes forward and says, I want to raise my house up, I want to get out of the flood zone, I want to be protected from the majority of storms, I want to be compliant because I want to do the work and whatnot. Oftentimes what they found is because of building height maxes is that all of a sudden your house that may be 2 stories all of a sudden becomes a little bit squatter because now you're up on pilings there. So one of the things that we're also looking at is looking at increasing the building height if elevating a structure.
Right, so we need, as we're looking at these new requirements, we're looking at the rest of the zoning regulations to make sure there's no conflict, right? And we're also recognizing that these new proposals may be in conflict with the way you guys normally do things and when you look at buildings. So we're here to just start this conversation, right? Knowing that you're reviewing and revising your guidelines so that both of these documents, your guidelines and our regulations, can work in harmony to keep people safe and to help people build out of the floodplain, knowing that it's frankly just gonna get worse for that.
And beyond a shadow of a doubt, you guys in updating your handbook in dealing with this are gonna have some homework as to figuring out recommendations in the handbook and however we end up, whatever route we end up going with as far as providing examples or providing details of what's encouraged or whatnot, it's really gonna require some thought in order to establish the architectural continuity and appeal that you guys have
Right.
traditionally looked at in downtown Mystic.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if as Dave says, we're looking at our height limitations and we're saying, well, if you're in the flood zone and you're going up X, you can go up another story. I mean, that's a big change in downtown Mystic, right?
Yeah.
I mean, most of them are 3 stories. You have ones going up 4. So it's something to think about. And I know we're putting into the budget some money for next year if it's approved to help with your guidelines,
Right.
and so I think having a good architect on board is really critical.
And really, the hope is that whatever's created will be able to provide visualizations of what
Right.
that will look like, because this is potentially going to change how things look. And the documentation that was part of the packet is just there. Nothing's being proposed at this point, but it's just there to show how other coastal communities, local coastal communities, within the region, Newport, Nantucket, on the Cape, are dealing with these same exact issues with historic structures, and there are ways to, and there's a couple really great examples in Newport where they elevated homes and it had a stone foundation, and they basically built up the stone foundation and put some new steps in there, but the whole structure itself, it just looked a little bit higher, but it kept all of those properties of a historic property that you would want to see, so those were there as to show that other communities are struggling and trying to address the same exact things that we are, the ones that have historic districts within the flood zone. So
Those examples kind of demonstrate
There's some good
that
examples.
somebody could walk up to it and go, was that elevated or was it there like
Right.
that its entire life?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the ultimate goal in when they draft their regulations and we update our handbook, that somebody will have reference to be able to,
Is there a resident?
approach that.
Is there a resident recently that kind of took some of this in consideration on Gravel Street? There's one house that.
I think 17 Gravel
Yes.
Street is probably your best example. And they kind of did a combination of lifting the building and using landscaping and retaining walls to kind of hide the grade change.
I was watching that while it was going on.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we all have,
They've done it in a combination of ways. Your lot may not always allow that depending on where you're at, or it just may not fit.
Yeah.
Doing something like that. That house being that it was like the Cape with a lower profile, it was okay to do some stubby walls around it and it didn't make it look like it was sitting up, you know, up in the air on a.
It's interesting. It reminds me, ADA has also similar kind of requirements
Mhm.
for commercial buildings when you do so much work. I don't know what it is here.
20%.
You 20%. Well, I mean,
You're up to
I'm
20%.
still from Wisconsin, so
Yeah.
I'm still figuring it out what it is here. But yeah, they have some of the same kind of things that kick in when you do a certain amount of work that
Yeah.
you
And the-
gotta comply.
Yeah, and the 17 gravel is a great example, not only just for the main building in the front, but even on the backside, the new accessory dwelling unit, where they are, like, if you look at that foundation, brand new structure, elevated at,
It's up, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
up, but they're, you know, the facade
looks
they're
good.
putting on that is they're
Mhm.
they're working within the regulations and we know it floods on both sides. We've seen it
Mhm.
significantly, you know, so, and they're protecting their investment. So that really is the big piece behind this. You know, it's to start the conversation, to have you guys start thinking about, you know, what impacts it may have on the applications that come forward in front of you, and from our standpoint to, you know, make the community more resilient and to, again, protect property, protect investments, protect lives.
What I always wonder about is what has happened in the past. You know, I asked about Hurricane Sandy, but then there's other things that have happened over the years.
Yeah.
Water coming down the hill.
Yeah.
Cause there's a lot of
Yeah, there's that too.
topography
Yep.
around here, so you wonder what are
Yeah.
things that we're not even thinking about.
Mhm.
I've learned in Westerly, there was this flooding that happened. I can't remember exactly when, but it just rocked through this. And the
2010, I lived through it, right?
2010, and the bridges act as dams.
Yep.
Yeah, they wouldn't let you go over the bridge.
I couldn't-
The
so
bridge was closed for a week.
I worked on that bridge. I didn't literally work, but my office was in the old McCormick building on the Wesley side.
Okay.
And we couldn't go to our office for a month because they were worried that the building was going to collapse because of the structural integrity of the bridge. I mean, I was down there right before it hit peak. It was basically, it was about 6 inches below the bottom of the bridge, and they were worried more about the bridge abutments going down and cutting off all traffic through there. And then you also had well, now it's called the River Bar, which used to be Upriver
Yeah.
Cafe and whatnot, where basically I have pictures of waves crashing against the outside of the
The
building.
building,
there,
yeah.
You know, and it was,
And
you
I
know,
also heard that it, you know, shortly down the stream, it was all done.
Yeah.
It all petered out. or
It all-
it
yeah.
was- It was right there.
but the interesting thing about that, so there is one constriction, so that's on the Pawcatuck River, on where the Wesley Yacht Club is. That's a big natural constriction. So you have ledge on both sides. You have the Yacht Club on the east side, and then you have Pawcatuck Rock on the right side, on the west side. And there was so much water coming down that basically there was about a foot drop of the water as it went over there, because there was so much water trying to push through that area there. So yes, the impacts were a lot less, but they still had flooding in
Sure.
some of the homes there. and
Just
stuff like that.
understand the history of what has happened is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Because you can't imagine everything.
Yeah, yep. And that was, and again, that storm there, that 2010 storm where we got over 30, it was back to back to back to back rainstorms. We got over 13 inches of rain, and the Geologic Survey calculated that as a 600-year storm. So it was more than a 0.2% annual
Wow.
chance. And it, you know, and that's when you see the vulnerability of the properties that are really within the flood zone and stuff, so. So I think that's, you know, what else did we want to say? I think I hit most of everything I had on.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't started writing anything yet for planning and zoning. We've had a discussion like this with them. Just to get them up to speed. They don't, you know, they don't use the regulations like we do, just to get them up to speed to what's required now, and what the projections are and where we might go. So we haven't written anything. I expect that we will have more conversations with you as we get closer. We also have a consulting firm on board to help us draft these regs. They have the ability to do some diagrams and some sketches so that you can see what these things might look like. You know, if we're having people go higher. So I hope this is, you
Yeah.
know, a work
Well, we
in
talked about
progress here.
we were about to adopt something It was been kicked around for years and held back on it because there's
Yeah.
gotta be a better.
Yep.
There's probably, it's been written before,
Exactly.
finding something that's been done before and then massaging it, so it makes sense. Yeah, I have an easement behind my house. I'm at 47 feet on High Street. And I heard about that was just a river. And then they covered it up and then they didn't consider the house below me. And the water was going right through their house. Another Packer house.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other challenge is this is what you're dealing with now.
Right.
Historically,
It's gonna get worse.
there was basically there was an inland cove right through Pearl Street. And
Oh,
that
yeah.
is the area that floods all the time. And it was, you know, this is what happened. I mean, you look at this, any, you know, Providence, Boston, you know, any of these coastal communities where they basically worked out and filled. And again, the flooding is still happening there. So again, we're really looking at opportunities to really strengthen our regs and to protect people and investments.
I mean, something real quick to think about, we talked about earlier today is as the new maps come out, there's good possibilities that each of these flood zones are gonna get bigger.
Yes.
And there's going to be more structures in the more regulated zones, and there'll be more buildings that you guys regulate in these zones. The X zone right now, which really doesn't trigger anything, it very well could be included in an AE zone in a map amendment or when a new map comes out, so it's not going to go away or shrink or anything. If anything, it's probably gonna expand the number of buildings that are subjected to this and that you guys will end up potentially seeing. And that's kind of our goal here is to just give you guys an understanding that in the future years to come, and it may not be you guys, but it might be you guys drafting the handbook that's going to guide people in the years to come, that the buildings that are going to be looked at are going to probably be different than what you're traditionally looking at now, based on all this.
So this may have come from, sorry, just getting in, but I mean, here's the uncomfortable subject I think nobody wants to bring up, and it's not gonna be in our lifetime. But I think eventually Mother Nature takes back what's hers, no matter how hard we try. I mean, especially got Pearl Street, which is built plan and then
Yeah.
river.
Inland Cove, yeah.
So I think no matter how hard we try, and it's probably gonna be our grandkids are gonna deal with it. I think eventually some of this will be underwater no matter what we do.
You're right.
I don't want to tell that to our $1 million property owners that are paying a lot of property tax, but.
You know, and that is, if you live in the flood zone, that is one of the part of risk that you have to figure out. How much risk are you willing to personally take? And at some point you may say, this is too much, I'm done. I mean, I think of some of the properties on Pearl Street that anytime it floods, there's always water there. Or any rain, they're always pumping out their basements. At some point, it's gonna be a daily occurrence, and it's like, this is just not worth it anymore. So,
Well, we watched North Carolina this past week
Right.
and how many fell, yeah,
and then Asheville was even
yeah, oh,
More-
absolutely, yeah.
interesting because that hadn't happened like
Right,
that before.
right.
So I had friends there and didn't have electricity and water. So anyways, it's just there's I think the understanding of what could happen is interesting.
So, I mean, short story, any changes we make to the regulations gonna have an impact on the design of a building that comes before you. So we definitely want to work together on this and make sure.
I thought that the National Park Service thing you shared with us was very interesting to see, because it's a good guideline of here's how you approach these things
Yes.
from a design perspective.
Right.
So
It just shows also that there are options out there,
they're good examples.
so, yeah, exactly.
There are some
Recommended,
beautiful
not
examples out
recommended.
there.
I saw that.
Yeah, so,
And again, I apologize if I missed this, but there's also another question. I mean, you may have. For example, at the barn, it's been a family property for years. Just because they live there doesn't mean they can necessarily afford. So what happens to those owners? I mean, are they? Just kind of a moral thing I think we got to think about too, right?
yep, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And how many of them actually have flood insurance that could protect themselves and their property? Is a really big question, but you see what's happening down south and how many insurance companies are just dropping everyone because they
That's
know
another
the
problem.
potential for that. So again, it's really understanding your flood risk and us as a community doing the best we can to protect these properties and people.
That's a reality is
Right.
the insurance companies. In Stonington, which Sandy, a lot of it flooded.
Yep.
People just don't have insurance. And we're looking at a house going, I don't want to be in the flood zone.
And some people have enough money to self-insure,
Right.
but a lot of people don't, and again, this is just talking, we're really talking, yes, these are hypothetical storms, but the storms are coming. It's not, as you all know, it's not a if, it's a when. So it's like, how do you protect the community and, and stay ahead of this as best you can as changes happen to structures and whatnot on there.
Well, I'll give you, to be honest, went through today, and it's ridiculous, but it's not, I own a condo in the Falls Mills complex in Norwich on the second floor. And my mortgage company wants me to take out excess flood insurance. And I said, it's 30 feet above the river, it's never flooded that high. I said, but we don't know the storms we have coming, and they want me to cover that difference.
Yep.
Which I mean, yeah.
Absolutely. So.
Well, Mark, if you guys don't have any more questions,
thank
kind
you.
of specific to what these guys did, we do have a meeting at 7 o'clock. We can probably take a few
Take a
minute
break.
break.
Yep.
If you want to entertain a motion to adjourn for the
Motion to
moment.
adjourn.
Second, Moriarty seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, yeah.
You ready? Good timing.
Good evening, everybody. It is October 7th, Tuesday, and welcome to the Historic District Commission meeting. It is 7:01 and we will begin the meeting. We have a quorum and the digital recording's all set. And so I'd like to sit all members that are present as full members. And we're going to have the clerk read the public notice of tonight's hearing.
The Historic District Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, October 7th, 2025 at 7 p.m. at the Groton Town Hall Annex, 134 Groton Long Point Road, and virtually via Zoom platform to hear the following applications requesting a certificate of appropriateness. First one is HDC 250072, 40 Pearl Street, Rick Hatch, applicant, Steve and Janine Davidson, owners, mini split, PIN 261918421395. The second one is HDC 250073, 13 West Mystic, Frank Roma, applicant, Jeffrey Jones, owner, roof PIN 261852923334. The third one is HDC 250074, 39 West Mystic Avenue, Eric Goodman, who's he? Applicant, owner, fence, PIN 261805283103. A Zoom meeting link will be posted to the town's website. Meeting calendar, applications are on file and available for public inspection during the normal business hours of the Planning Department, 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut. Dated this 30th day of September 2025 at Groton, Connecticut.
So I'm going over to my right on the table. To your left is a yellow piece of paper with the hearing procedures. I'm going to waive reading them, but if you have any questions about the procedures, you feel free to read them and check them out. Did Did everybody sign in? Or did it, okay, thank you very much. for doing that. That's a new thing we're instituting.
That's right, we're gonna say.
Yep, right there next to the black bucket. All right. So first is HDC 25-0057 84 Newland Road, Scott Dolman. Up, come on up.
So this is a continuation from prior public hearing. It was been on the agenda for a couple of meetings now. There was, you guys asked me to reach out to the applicant because nobody had come to present.
Perfect.
I ended up getting in touch with Mr. Simoncini. He was going to come tonight, 20%.
Oh,
Gentleman's right here.
oh, okay.
He's going to come present as the owner, as he has run into some difficulties with the contractors and the people that he entered into the agreement to install the windows on. And he thought it would be best to resolve the situation to come present for himself.
Okay, sounds good.
Recommend you invite him up.
Excellent. Mr. Simoncini, come on up.
First of all, I want to apologize for this whole proceeding. We contacted Window Nation. They were going to replace our windows. Do they have a copy of what?
They should have
Yep.
everything.
Okay.
If I could just interrupt you real quick, if you could just introduce yourself
Oh,
and the address, sir.
Peter Simoncini, 84 New London Road. They came, they gave us a quote. Informed them that we were in the historical district. We were not a historical house, but we are in the historical district. And that they needed to submit and get your approval. I got a text at the end of July stating that they were waiting for your decision. So I foolishly assumed that they had already presented everything to you, and we were just waiting. They came in August and replaced our windows. We had our 1940s cape. We had regular 6x6 casement window over windows. They were replacing them with the same thing. And they were covering the framing, same thing. They were replacing our door, which was a 1940s door and leaking, same design. So that is it. Do you have the picture of the before and after by any chance? If not, you do. This is the before. That is the after.
So there's a camera in the
The
ceiling.
camera in the ceiling. Yeah.
So,
They're really.
Right there.
Okay.
And
So if you look at the screen, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, if you just wanna shift it around, so it's.
Okay.
Let's move that microphone out.
Let's do this one. This is the one we want. No, that's the after. This is the before. This is the before shot with the windows. This is what you're seeing from the London Road. We're approximately, the house is 60 feet from the road. The picture is being taken 50 feet from the road. So this is what you're seeing from the road. That is the before shot of the front of the house. This is the after shot. And if you put them both together. You can see that we have the 6/6, the same mullions. They're basically the same. At least I think so. So I'm here to get approval for that. After the fact.
Are the grills applied? I'm trying to see.
Yeah, they're inside windows. The other ones had, the old windows were typical 1940s windows. We had 1960s aluminum window dorms and screens over, so. Actually, I think with the after shot, you can see more of the mullion than you can with the before shot.
That makes more sense.
The mullions in the old windows were painted black.
Mhm.
The mullions in the new windows were white. But they're the same thickness, the same, as close as we could get to what is there.
Looks a lot better.
Is the door different as well?
The door is the door is brown instead of white. It's the same design of door.
But
It's
it
the same
was
door.
replaced.
It's not the same door. It's a
Okay.
metal door, but it is the same
Okay.
design.
Yeah.
There's
Everything is this, with the work order. The work order states we're replacing with the same. And we did it throughout the front and throughout the house.
Was the original door wood?
The original door was wood. The storm door was not.
It's the door on this part of the application.
It's a good question.
What's the question?
Was the door part of the application?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I was thumbing through the packet earlier. I thought there was a question for door in there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Had absolutely no intentions of bypassing. We made it clear to the salesman that he needed to come. And he was submitting everything, and with our, as I say, with the text that I got at the end of July. I assumed that he had presented and we were just waiting for your decision.
It's a black.
Sorry.
Are the windows
Not
vinyl?
understand.
Yes.
They're not. Like for like? Or
They're like for like, the design is exactly the same. The difference is it's wood, not wood, it's vinyl. They're a replacement window.
What's the siding material? Is that aluminum?
That's vinyl siding.
It's vinyl siding, okay.
Yeah, back in 1980 or 81. The mother got permission from vinyl. And in 93, we permitted to add the addition on the back of the house and raise the roof, the height of the roof.
And the trim around the window, what GA, is that aluminum?
No, it's vinyl.
It's vinyl?
And you have
Yeah.
you have vinyl siding on there presently,
Yes,
correct?
yeah, the vinyl.
Basically just a
siding.
buck change.
Buck chain.
So
yeah.
the sash came out, tracks came out, and insert went in.
Okay.
And then they took the storms off on the outside.
It's still vinyl.
It is a vinyl replacement window, correct?
3 years the house?
1940. And the part you're seeing from the road is 1940.
I encourage Mr. Simonini to come in tonight and explain to you guys the circumstance surrounding the application. I understand that nobody should forge ahead with an installation without all the approvals in place, but in my conversation with him, he really was kind of blindsided with this. I genuinely feel that it was between Window Nation and a contractor that they hired to install the windows. That they were the ones that were amiss in not making sure everything is in place. I understand it is the homeowner's responsibility, but there's also obligations from sales and contractors. By licensing, they're obligated to understand that their permits are required before they commence with the work. So there's some responsibility on their end. I explained to him to come tell you guys, it's not a historic house. I told him you traditionally don't accept vinyl type windows. But come present the situation and see what the feedback was.
But I heard that vinyl siding was approved at some point.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not, you know, it's not a 1750s house. It's a 1940s traditional built house, traditional built foundation, traditional vinyl sided kind of landscape.
But if the guy that lived in the 1940s, in 20 years, it's gonna be 100 years old or 15 years, so it's.
50 years is historical.
Well,
Right, in 50 years is historical.
in 20 years when those vinyl windows are no good anymore. Maybe we'll see Mr. Simmons.
No, you won't.
coming in. I'm sorry.
That's all right. We'll be on the other side looking up rather than looking down at the thing.
Yeah, this, I've spent a lot of time in the last few weeks trying to sort through this, trying to communicate with,
Window Nation, have you had any luck?
No,
No.
no,
Neither
I
have
did have a little bit of luck with the permitting company that they were very upset and they said the manager who oversees these types of situations was going to contact me, never did. So I really don't have any other.
We are in the process of going to the state consumer protection. Because this shouldn't have happened. They shouldn't have come in without a license. I'm still waiting on a window and a screen. And I have not had any return calls from them at this point. I am between the proverbial rock and a hard place at this point.
And you replaced all the windows all the way around?
All the
Yeah.
windows, all the windows.
Okay. And they all have the 6/6?
Was in the addition of the house. So in
Yeah.
1993, we had approval for vinyl windows in the back of the house.
So you have, so you haven't been able to reach Window Nation?
I have not been able to
Yeah.
reach Window Nation. I have not been, I have reached. And when this first happened, I called asking to speak to the president who sends out all these letters. I did get a consumer department. It was put on hold and they never returned a call. And my salesman has not returned calls. They have not sent me another copy of the contract. They sent me just partial. They didn't send me the whole contract.
And the installer was part of their group? It was.
They got everybody. We had
Gotcha.
nothing to do with it.
Okay, so.
And
you
when the
can't
installers,
contact him.
no, when the installers came, I assumed again that they had followed all the proper procedures.
No.
Does anybody in the audience want to speak for this application? Does anybody in the audience want to speak against this application? All right. HDC 25-0057, public hearing is closed.
Thank you, guys.
So do we,
So we're gonna go through all the public hearings and then at the end, we then revisit each case, for lack of a better
Do we
term,
need to
and
stay?
then.
can, yeah,
And then we,
Yeah.
you can stay if you want, but we're gonna vote after we hear all the public hearings.
okay, so do we have any more input?
Oh, no, that's close, so.
You will contact us
Certainly.
with.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry this need to be this way.
Yes, understood.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There was no malice on your part. Okay. All right, HDC 25-0061 22 West Mystic Avenue, Michael Deegan applicant, deck rebuilds.
So I talked to
Oh.
Mr. Deegan today, he requested that you continue for one more meeting. And at the next meeting, if he himself can't make it, he is going to have his new contractor present the application.
We won't have any time issues if we continue.
No,
this.
I looked at it, so
Okay.
he can actually do this one and he can do the first November if he needs it,
Okay.
so that's okay.
All right.
So
Anyone want to make a
make a
motion?
motion to continue with you.
I'll make a motion to continue. Where is it?
Second one down.
061.
22, is it 22 West?
Yes.
Yeah.
22 West Mystic.
Yeah, West Mystic Avenue till next meeting or the following.
Ferguson,
Second. Oh,
Goodrich second. All right, vote.
Goodrich, aye.
Ernst, I.
Ferguson, I.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
All right, HDC 25-0061 is continued to the next meeting. All right, now we're on HDC 25-0069, 9 Rathbun Place, Lorena Munoz, applicant, Joanne.
Didn't we, what,
No.
This, you kept it open.
We kept it open because
Yep. We didn't have.
we closed the public part of it. We just continued the
vote.
vote, the deliberation. So I think we need to vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should vote to reopen the public hearing
Then you
first.
probably should, if you're gonna accept any,
New material.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
And that way these guys can
here.
hear it as well.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so Ferguson makes a motion to reopen the public hearing that we closed last meeting on 9 Rathbun Place, which is HDC 25-0069.
Moriarty second.
All right, any discussion? So I'll do a mini discussion, is we only had 3 people and the vote was split, so.
Right, I actually watched.
Oh, okay.
videos, so I'm somewhat up to speed.
Okay, so I just wanted to, for the people that weren't here.
We technically didn't take a vote.
Right, no,
So-
exactly. No, you're correct. I misspoke. We had a discussion.
Yep.
Continue the deliberation.
And we voted to continue the deliberation. So now we're voted, we just going to vote right now to reopen the hearings. We'll go to vote.
Goodrich, aye.
Ernst, I.
Ferguson, I.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
All right, HCC 25-0069, after all that is reopened for a public
Yep.
hearing.
And I would start, do everything again.
And,
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, great.
yeah, just pretend you've never been here before.
Awesome. So my name is Omar, from Shoreline Solar. We have a solar installation project that we would like to do on 9 Rathbun Place. Last time I was here, I showed some pictures at the front, so I'll do that again. We already came to the agreement that we'd wrap the conduit around the back of the house, paint it down the side of the house to match, so it doesn't stick out. We also decided to, for aesthetic reasons, add these solar skirts. So from the street, it'll actually look like it's built into the roof.
Can you move that so I can? There's a solar skirts that kind of goes up against the edge of the panel, so it doesn't.
Yeah, so it
look
doesn't
raised
look
up.
like it's raised up. So I know that was a concern last time, so just want to go through that, make sure that this is the house here.
Mhm.
So you really wouldn't see the panels on the house. Here's a view from down the street.
You'll see him there.
You'll see them there, so that's where we're gonna put that skirt on, so it looks like it's built into the roof, so it doesn't stick off. And there's an up close of that same side.
Do you have a picture of the skirt? I'm not really understanding the skirt.
I have a spec sheet, I don't actually have a
Got
picture
a
of it.
little
but
angle to it, but
Here's a better angle of the skirt, so these go on the corners here. And then you actually have these pieces here, these trim pieces that come off the side of the panel, so if you look here, it'll
Oh, I
actually
got
look
it.
like it's built to the roof itself.
But it's still flush to the roof.
Yeah, these actually allow the
And it's
panels to be
behind the gutter.
behind the gutter, if they don't overhang or anything like that.
So correct me if I'm wrong, basically it hides the gap between the panel and the. roof.
Exactly, so on the, anywhere you can see it from the street side, we want to wrap the array entirely, so you can't see that.
where's south on this?
South would be this up front.
Yeah, that'd be the front of the.
Yeah, it's the front of the house. Or no, sorry, this is the front of the house, this is the side of the house, which is
The street view.
this view that I had shown.
That side.
That's the south side.
That's,
South side's right up there.
but when you're coming
So-
down the road.
It's at the end of the street looking back.
Yep. So yeah, if you see the whole street view pulled back with the street down. This is obviously the beginning of the street over here. And you would only see this roof coming down the road and this if you passed it. Which is a dead end at the end. There's just a house at the end of the road, so. That was my our go through last time. And then I had to submit this roofing. The the amount for the roofing, because we're also replacing the roof on the home and the material list here. So we're gonna do a full strip down to the asphalt and put, down to the plywood, sorry, and put all these materials on the house. So it's really all I have. I could go through it again, but I think, last time I said I would, paint the conduit coming down the house, so you won't see it, which would come this area here. We would have to move this car charger over to the other side of the window. So this would go to the other side of the window or underneath here, wherever code really allows us to do it. And we would put a majority of the solar equipment in the basement, so it won't be visual from the actual outside of the house. The only thing that would be there is the what's required by Eversource, which is another meter can and disconnect. So you have the ability to hide the equipment in the basement.
We should probably take a copy of the spec sheet for the roofing.
Sure.
Yeah.
You guys want one for like, I brought one for every piece of the roofing, or it's just the shingle, all you need?
Where's like the drip edge and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
So I have a question if I may.
Sure.
Why couldn't the panels be put on the garage rather than the house itself?
We would have to trench. It'd be an additional cost to the homeowner, so that's what.
But besides that,
Yeah.
you get the same production out of putting it on the garage?
I don't want to answer yes and be wrong. I would say probably we could get close to it, but we just didn't want to incur an additional charge to the homeowner because
Can we
we've
see
been
the,
trenching.
can we see the rendering or the photograph again that shows the garage?
Yes, sir. There's the spec sheet, and material lists. There's the garage. So there's two driveways in this house. There's a garage side driveway and the other one where the meter is, so we would have to trench all the way to the other side of the house. If you're looking at it from this end, just as perspective, the garage is down in here and the meter and everything's on this side of the house. So it's possible if that's what we need to do, but it'd be an incurred charge to the homeowner. Yeah, we use back sheet too there.
That's
If I
good.
could
That's
just weigh in on that,
Sure.
when these guys do these designs, of these, they take into consideration the roof area, the production. The amount of shade, sun, the amount of sun it hits during the day, and it's very possible the garage might have been considered. And was kind of, not taken into consideration for other reasons rather than.
Yes, that's,
Do you know if you looked at the garage?
what's that?
Do you know if you looked at the garage or no?
I believe we did, and the production was better on the house. And we will be re-roofing it in the garage as well, so that's all included in the re-roof portion. The color is also black shingle, so it really will, with the skirts all together, match.
Any other questions?
That's a good question.
I'm good.
Does anybody in the audience want to speak for this application? Does anybody in the audience want to speak against this application? All right, then we have HDC 25.
You guys want this?
Sure.
Yeah.
Another one?
Thank you,
HDC
guys.
25-0069 is closed. All right, now we'll go to HDC 25-0071, 3 Gravel Street, Peter Springsteel. Applicant Sal Kiola, sorry. Hold on. Good evening.
Evening. Evening, Peter.
You look familiar.
So this is round 94.
It looks, you're familiar, the project's familiar.
Almost a deja vu.
Tim, you're gonna have to.
Oh, I'm sorry, blew me out.
So I think this was similar to the last one where you kind of told me you didn't like the shutters. I'm here to present shutters in a front door that we had proposed. So the owner, he's fine with going back to conventional louver shutters, wooden painted. And those were approved on an earlier application, so I'll just cross them off this one And we'll just be here to vote on the door, I suppose. So this is the door. It's a 9-light door with 2 panels down below. And for the record, Peter Springsteel Architect.
And the address again, just for the record, the address.
The address is
3 gravel.
3 Gravel Street, thank you. And I'm gonna cross these out. And I can write C, previous application or something like that.
Perfect.
And that's all I got.
And the.
No change to the door at all from last time?
No,
It's not what was it originally, 8 panel? No,
It was like,
16.
oh,
And now
it's like a full.
9-light.
And we were worried about
Yep.
luggage getting.
Perfect, yep, no questions.
And on the document is the spec sheet basically for the door, like last time.
Yes. So,
the door is in.
Oh, there it goes. Got it.
Therma-Tru 9-light STL 2-panel fiberglass door system.
Any questions?
No.
Questions? All right. So anybody in the audience want to speak for this application? Anybody in the audience want to speak against? Yeah. All right. HTC 25-0071, 3 Gravel Street. Yeah, he's going to submit that. Yeah.
Can you just send a copy of
Isn't that one?
that?
No, because he crossed off the window.
What, or we might just have them submit an electronic copy?
Sure.
Sue's not gonna want that, we buy it.
She sends me notes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
Peter, you want this back? Peter.
Here.
All right, I'll try again. HCC 25-0071 is closed. Thank you. All right, now we're on HDC 25-0072, 40 Pearl Street, Rick Hatch, applicants Steve and Janine Davidson, owners. Welcome.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, I'm Steve Davidson. Who's here?
I was gonna say, yeah.
Discussed all of this. I'll just go over it again.
So the crack is your reference? The crack in the table? There you go. Perfect.
We're putting in mini splits. And the condensers are going on the outside in front of the house. Here's Pearl Street, this is Eldridge. And as discussed before, you can't see them from the outside anyway. However, you did want me to put some screens on it, they have as well. But these are pictures where they're going on the outside of the, right next to the house.
So you can see it's behind a big row of shrubs that border the sidewalk. They're probably 25 feet high. And then they're behind additional shrubs that are really close to the house.
I had a surveyor come in to survey the property, and you can see we're about 7 foot of elevation above flood level, and I guess the flood level is 11, so we have to be 4 feet up from that and another foot to do that. And this is the certificate from the surveyor to see that, you know. Now, since we're gonna be 5 foot above 60 inches, the actual units. I can't see the size of the units, but they're 28 inches tall, so that's at 88 inches. And rather than building plans for the screens that you want me to put up, I just built one. So you can see what it looks like. That's a front view. One of the sides.
That's really nice.
One side.
Should put that on Etsy.
Yeah.
I said you should put that on Etsy.
These are 8 foot tall,
Yeah.
96 inches, so I have another inches to play with, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're 18 inches wide. It's plenty of room to fit behind the screen.
Seriously, it looks great.
Are you gonna hang the units on the house or are they gonna be on
on
a
a platform?
Don't
I'm
know.
not sure. I think they're gonna be close to the house if they're not hanging right on the house.
Yeah. Okay.
I said something about possible vibration.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the problem when you hang on the house.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, they're likely not gonna sit, they sit on it, they're not gonna sit on like a manufactured cradle. They're probably gonna have to build a platform.
Like the
Yeah.
church.
Like the
did.
church.
Yeah, like the
Yeah,
church did.
did.
Yeah.
I don't think they make anything that
Yeah.
supports something sitting at that high.
Yeah.
And everybody's getting away from hanging them on houses for vibration reasons.
Yeah.
So I anticipate that they'll probably be on the platform.
Platform.
Which it looks like that, what he's proposing, they're just gonna encompass all of that anyway.
Right.
Yeah, it's wide enough, it's 3 feet, the actual units are 32 and 5/16 or something. So it's, well, actually, once you go on the inside of it, it's just barely enough.
Could we get one of those photos for the record? And then what is that constructed out of? Just
Cedar?
No, actually, it's,
pressure treated pine? Okay.
we'll paint them.
You're paying
And it's gonna have a discussion of whether we're gonna paint this. The house or white.
Or black, black will make them disappear, but.
Black will make them disappear?
You can't see it behind the trees.
They disappear more if it's painted like the house.
Yeah, that's what I would.
I mean, we can't dictate paint color.
Right, no, no, no.
Paint them whatever you want.
You could be right.
Not recommending paint. Way to go, Bill. I can see the look in his eye now. It's.
I wanted paint. Yeah, detail here. But that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Thank
It's really
you.
nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm serious. It was very well done. Anybody in the audience want to speak for the application? Anyone in the audience want to speak against the application? HDC 25-0072, 40 Pearl Street is the public hearing. Is closed. Thank you, Siri. HDC 25-0073, 13 West Mystic Avenue, Frank DeRoma applicant, Jeffrey Jones owner.
Hi,
Hello.
it's Deborah McDougan, and I'm representing the Jones family.
Okay.
We had almost the same issue as the first applicant, where we had an emergency leak in the roof and had to get the roof replaced. We did go through a business, it was Deroma Roofing out of Westerly, and he came in to get the permit. And then later on, I received an email saying that we needed to appear today.
So we got the building permit, but not the HDC
He came
permit?
in and applied for the building permit, at which time it was explained to him that he had to get the HDC, that's why the building permit is still pending.
Oh, okay.
Which again, we were
I
aware.
did talk to Mr. DeRomi, he told me that there was a pretty substantial leak in the building causing pretty substantial damage.
Yeah.
I told him that these applications are typically sort of pass-through applications. He would have to come formally present. But he could take action to correct the leak and do what needs to be done. Then they subsequently followed up with the application. It's an architectural, it's a 3-tab shingle on it. We went to a standard architectural. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
Same color and everything.
So one from 3-tab to architecture, just so process like.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what drove the change coming in. He said he would have put 3 tabs back on, but he couldn't find them readily available in the quantity he needed in the color. So.
And was that same color you just showed us, that black?
Were those 3 tabs put on the low roof on the side, the. On the,
All, yeah, all shingled surfaces, I think we're done, yeah.
So the main house and the wing on the left side and the atrium were all
Correct.
done, okay.
Sorry, I saw that going. I live on Irving Street. I was wondering where you have a big sailboat in the yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there was, but I
Yeah,
think
it's gone
there's
now.
Yeah.
just a little bit of it left. The keel, I think, is
That's
in the
good.
driveway.
Yeah. It's the people
People
outside.
outside.
The others.
Yeah.
good, maybe, yeah, it'd be good to get a cut sheet, but it's the same as. Yeah, the other house.
Could you, we can ask them to bring that in.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Can you guys email me a cut sheet for their Q1 shingles so I can have the file? There isn't
Absolutely.
one already?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd just rather, I know I think, but
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can do that.
that's
Get that from your own one.
yeah, I mean, just to complete the file.
Okay, perfect. Do you need any of the information?
No, I don't think so. Anybody else have questions? Alright. Does anybody in the audience want to speak for the application?
Thank you.
Anybody in the audience want to speak against the application?
I did have a quick question because I'm going from a driving by. Did you guys do the shed too?
No, the barn, you didn't know the barn in the back.
The
No.
back.
Okay,
Yeah, this was, like we had said, it was an emergency,
so it was just the house that was done?
just.
Right.
Okay.
All right, HDC 25-0073 public hearing is closed. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Q.
All right, HDC 25-0074 39 West Mystic Avenue. Do you know how to pronounce this name?
No.
Eric Goodman. Owner applicant.
Here, guys, so can I have that?
Oh.
You don't mind, thank you. Eric Goodman, 30, well, soon to be 39 West Mystic. Okay, so this is the same fencing that I came to you for 9 Roland that we'd be using over there. Okay. So we do, coming from the house, following this blue line in the white picket, and then we change the black aluminum where it's on top of the cliff, and then it would come from the house back with the gate as shown, connect into that and circle the yard. So we could contain the dog in this area or let her out into the full yard. But we didn't want the black aluminum running around the entire property. We thought the white picket in the front would be a little nicer, but where that cliff becomes high enough that you kind of lose sight of it, we wanted to change it to the black aluminum. Basically the exact same thing we did at Roland. If you see it, you see the wood to contain the yard, it's aluminum.
Yeah, you won't see it the black at all.
Right. Part of that's for us not to see it so we can see
Yeah.
the view, but also so people don't just see this big picket fence going around the entire yard. Specs are all in here, same stuff.
And just you went really quick for my brain after today, so can you just follow the white picket fence only with your finger?
Starting at the corner of the house.
Yeah.
That's where the lattice goes around the ACs.
Okay,
That was
okay.
part of the original
Yep.
thing. So it'll start from that, extend out. It comes back towards West Mystic.
Yep.
Comes down this way and there's a double gate, so we can still get cars in the yard.
Okay,
Follows all the way around to the cliff where someone's sign is,
yes.
one of
Mine.
yours. Comes around the tree.
Big mine started.
Full disclosure.
Comes around the tree and then changes to black aluminum. So everything in green shown back
Other
here.
than the signs, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I can drop off with you.
Okay,
What's the transition between the cedar and the The aluminum? Is
It
just?
just changes. Yeah.
Straight.
Same thing we did. We just butted the posts up. The height's the same, so it just kind of goes away. The aluminum posts are really small relative to the 6x6 wood posts, so. But that's basically it.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything unique about the gate, or is it kind of just disappear in the rest of the fence?
Standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna look like two pieces of fence, but they'll just have the little gate hardware.
Yeah. Okay.
You probably won't be able to see a lot of it, but
Right, no, it's good that you came.
yeah. Good.
This portion here, is that also?
I didn't include it on this, primarily because my neighbor and I had a discussion and my neighbor and I determined that we wouldn't do that at this time.
Okay, and that currently is?
Nothing. It's like, basically the side yard comes up and it just kind of drops off into the driveway. We're gonna, some granite that we have sitting around, we're gonna put that back in there. It's about 6-8 inches, just to keep the dirt from coming into the driveway.
Okay.
And that driveway was, you don't need to approve this, but was like asphalt-ish with some other stuff. We're just going back to crushed stone. So.
I hope the neighbor didn't give you a hard time too much.
So I think we need.
No comment, but-
Full disclosure. Got signed.
It sounds like he is the best neighbor in the world.
Yeah. No complaints.
Everybody recuses them.
Only 2 people could vote.
Yeah, I never require written confirmation from your neighbor.
Sure. Yeah. See if you can reach the neighbor on the other side.
Any questions from the commission? Good. All right.
I have to get you the AC specs that you had wanted from the original application, so I'll send those in. And then I will be back to do the garage at some point when I get some money back.
The condensers?
Yeah, you approved them, but one of the stipulations was just one copy, a sheet of the condenser, and they're installed, so I just. Yeah. That's all I got. So.
Thank you. Does anybody in the audience want to speak for the application? Anybody in the audience want to speak against the application? HDC 25-0074 39 West Mystic Avenue is closed. Okay, so that concludes the public hearing aspect of the meeting. And we're now going to go to the consideration. We'll start with HDC 25-0057, which is 84 New London Road, which is the Simoncini windows and door. Anyone want to start or make a motion before we go to the discussion?
I'll move to approve.
Goodrich, second.
Discussion? It's a spinal window.
You know, it's
Yes.
unfortunate.
It's, the
Yeah.
entire thing's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah.
To be honest, you know, windows aren't right, the vinyl windows, doors, steel. But it's done. I don't know what
Yeah.
we do.
I know. Well, that's why I was asked the question if he contacted Window Nation to.
So come replace like
Yeah.
we did downtown.
That was.
And that's where I kind of think we're between the same rock and a hard place he is, because we've made people pull windows before.
Right.
To be honest, this is pretty blatant. This is
Right.
something that we really have always stood up for.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not having any.
You know, legally, the homeowner's responsible. I get, you trust your contractors. This is, I'm struggling with this one, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm not struggling with it, to be honest with this. I don't like, me and the V word, I just don't like vinyl.
No, it's,
I don't care that there's vinyl sidings made by a commission that was 18 years ago or whatever. I don't remember the exact.
I can request you wanna withdraw the application, and you guys can let the Department of Consumer Complaint play out and see if part of the kind of the intervention or the arbitration that comes out of that forces them to come get an application in front of you.
Can we put a time frame on that?
Probably, yeah.
Problem is
If you wanna do that.
Yeah.
Um,
we do that and it takes 2 years, you know.
Well, and I don't know, so I might be stepping way out of where I should. I mean, would homeowners insurance cover it? Then they subrogate it against the contractor?
probably not. I would not. The best course of action for the owner is file a complaint, get a case open with consumer protection. Get a caseworker assigned to it, and then they reach out to parties. If something can't be resolved, then they bring people together and then sit down and kind of arbitrate it out. In order some kind of a path forward on it. It's up to you guys, if you want to suspend it or put it, I can recommend you withdraw it, have them withdraw it, and you can suspend it for the moment. Public hearing's closed, so you can put off your consideration indefinitely. It's up to you guys.
So we have a motion on the floor. Do we want to have that motion retracted to suspend the application?
What happens if we deny it?
They have to wait a year.
But it also makes it unapproved repair. Does that give it more leverage on the contractor?
Good point.
It may.
I think it's a tough thing to approve because it's precedent.
Right, no.
Yep.
that's
And I
what-
agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah, no, that's what I. So,
Seems like the denial is maybe the best bet.
I am.
I agree.
I think it's gonna help them with consumer affairs too, if we do that.
If we don't, if we are good with the motion that is present, I'll go to a vote. Does anybody have a problem with me going to a vote?
Mm-mm.
Okay, let's go to a vote.
Goodrich, nay.
Thanks, nay.
Ferguson, nay.
Moriarty, nay.
Kohler, nay.
All right. So, sorry. HTC 25-0057 is denied. All right, now we're going to HTC 25-0061, 22 West Mystic. That was continued. Sorry, my bad.
Continued.
All right, that was continued. So now we're at HTC 25-0062, 54 West Main Street. Why does that? That's a sign, Peter. Petrick Marku.
Which one?
I don't think that's supposed to be there. You guys, I
Oh.
think you guys approved him last time. We
I'm
did. He
I'm
had
just,
tires, right?
sorry, I'm just reading blindly.
Why that's on there.
Okay,
That was to sign it, the new.
Yep.
Gino.
yeah, okay, all right, okay,
I
moving.
think that you guys completed it.
All right, HCC 25-0069, 9 Rathbud Place. This is the solar roof on the home that's on the cul-de-sac. Does anyone have a motion?
Moriarty makes a motion to approve.
Goodrich, second.
Right, any discussion?
I still have the same feeling as I did last time.
Okay.
Sadly, I did go to the house today, spent about 10-15 minutes, looked at it all angles, really. I'm totally for a home being modernized, energy efficient, all that. I just think there should be a better way of placing the solar panels, whether it's the garage, whether it's an outbuilding in the back, putting them on this home where you see it so visibly on two sides. I'm not gonna be able to move forward on that. Except that.
Question I didn't ask before, does the garage have a southern exposure? I'm a little turned around.
It does.
It's east-west.
Oh, is it?
That's a problem.
So
Are you sure?
I'm kind of with Tim on this, and everybody that's watched me knows I felt about solar since I've been on the commission. I'm a huge fan of solar. I'm having to put on my dad's house. Think it's the future. I also agree on a historic building. I think for lack of a better word, that faces it. Those of you that knew my house in Old Mystic. 1740 house up front, 1950s garage in the back. I put it on the garage. And I agree with Tim. I think if we have other options, we have to explore them. I mean, I don't know what you guys thought. What I do know is they do have software that will show how much sun everything gets when it's shaded.
So
When
I asked last time, to change the design, and I was told I can't.
by whom?
I don't know who wasn't, where I was told that that was the final. I couldn't change the design. I asked them to change the plans.
I don't remember that
Yeah.
being asked.
I wasn't here.
Yeah, it was
I wasn't
the
here
three of
either.
us and
I actually don't remember hearing that.
the only context that would make sense is that you've submitted a certain application. And so we have to vote on what is,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Right, right. So, yeah.
I think he was just explaining that.
Yeah.
At this point, it's, the application is what it is.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
right.
So, and I'm just throwing ideas out. So if we deny it, he can't go back for a year.
Right, that's why we continue to.
If he withdrew it and wanted to come back, offering the garage, if that's the homeowner's choice, we could reconsider it.
But it's the east-west. Is it really an east-west?
It probably is.
Even if it's East-West, I'm sure.
You guys, yeah, at this point, you really shouldn't be contributing any information to the decision making process. You guys, if you deny it, his application is to place it on the house. If he came back with a partial ground mount and garage mount, that would be substantially different. And we wouldn't have to wait a year.
Okay.
So. Feel like we're continuing it.
No, I think
No?
we're going to a vote.
Well, there's a motion on the floor.
There's a motion on the
Motion
floor.
to
Yeah.
approve.
Motion to approve, so. All right, any further discussion? Any issue if we move to a vote? Right, let's go to a vote.
Goodrich, nay.
Ernst, nay.
Ferguson, yay.
Moriarty, aye.
Aye.
Kohler, nay.
So the motion, I'm sorry, the application was denied. So HDC 25-0069 is denied. All right, now we move on to HDC 25-0071 3 Gravel Street. The door only because the shutters were previously approved. Any motion?
Make a motion to approve Goodrich.
Moriarty seconds.
All right, any discussion?
I think the door looks great. I think it's a better safety issue rather than being all glass.
Yep.
All right. Further discussion? All right, go to a vote.
Goodrich, aye.
Ernst, aye.
Ferguson, aye.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
All right, HDC 25-0071 is approved. Now we're gonna go to HDC 25-0072 40 Pearl Street. Any motion on the mini split?
Moriarty makes a motion to approve.
Kohler, seconds.
All right, any discussion?
I like the screen.
I love the sign. It's just, I mean,
Yeah.
it breaks up there when he was an applicant for his fence presentation. So, but no, excellent job with the screen and,
Yeah.
Okay,
Good job.
go to a vote.
Goodrich, aye.
Ernst, aye.
Ferguson, aye.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
All right, HDC 25-0072 is approved. Now we're on HDC 25-0073 13 West Mystic Avenue. That was the emergency roof replacement. Any motion on the floor?
So I want to make a motion to approve, but can we get the, I guess the invoice? I'm pretty sure I saw other stuff go on that roof. I drive by there every day on the way to work. So if it's just what got presented, I'm good with it. I just want to make sure there's nothing else that got put on.
Such as?
I'm pretty sure I saw him do the shed. And I don't remember. I just want to make sure.
You mean the barn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or is there another?
And I could be wrong. I do drive by it every day. It's something I don't get my coffee that early in the
Would
morning.
there be opposition?
Hmm.
No.
It's just not
No, for
part of
me.
the
Right,
application.
so
Right.
Yeah,
if it
I don't
was
have an
in
issue.
fact done, you amend the application or have them amend the description to include the shed,
Or come back and,
come back and get an approval for the shed,
yep,
do that as a condition of approval,
Yeah.
if you choose to.
that makes sense, to everybody.
Are we wording that?
So I make a motion to approve based on the condition was as presented. If any of the materials were used or the shed was done, that has to be presented. That a semi-logical motion.
So you want the wording?
Yeah.
Okay, so the motion,
To approve.
the motion on the floor is to approve as presented. With a comma.
Okay.
But if other aspects of the property were shingled, the applicant has to come back and present. So, good? Is that good with everybody, the wording on that?
Yeah.
Did we get a second? No, we did not get a second.
Moriarty second.
Any further discussion? All right, go to a vote.
A good rich eye.
Ernst, aye.
Ferguson, aye.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
All right, HCC 25-0073 is approved. All right, HCC 25-0074, 39 West Mystic. The cedar fence around part of the property and aluminum fence on the remainder.
Mhm.
All right. Any motion?
Moriarty makes a motion to approve.
Second. Or second. All right, any discussion?
Abstaining.
My only concern is the transition between wood and aluminum. And it being on the peak of that corner where you look up the hill and literally will see a stop and a start of the two. I don't think that's a huge issue, but it is kind of a jarring transition there. But I think overall, I think it's fine.
I think it's better than the,
Yeah.
which is a big white picket fence looking like a
Yeah,
fortress.
I agree.
Any other discussion? All right, go to a vote.
A good rich eye.
Ernst, aye.
Ferguson abstain.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
All right. HCC 25-0074 is approved. All right. Okay, so all the applications from the public hearing, you okay?
I'm all choked up.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Like a cookie or a sandwich possibly.
Can I put a 2-second recess?
For them to put it in, do I need to wait for something?
We got a certificate of appropriateness tomorrow, I'll email to you, once he closes out the HDC application.
Okay.
And then, the mechanical permit will be issued till they can move ahead with install.
Okay, so, but
I'm just gonna do a 1-minute recess. I'll be right back.
they had to wait for that. Great, thank you.
You can move ahead with it.
Yep, you guys are good.
Great, thank you.
Good. Food serve.
Those cookies are looking good, but I'm trying to say no.
You and I are different.
But you know, peer pressure, now to see them, what I might have to follow.
Got sandwiches for you guys. I know. There's, you want to listen to flood stuff and you. Cool stuff, but that's all right, because we put them out.
I gotta be honest, I
On
haven't
the
had
table
about
tomorrow.
it.
And they get eaten.
So I'm getting married in 18 days. I got 3 calls from
Yeah.
vendors. Oh, there's a problem.
We have,
What's that? I'm getting married in 18
This
days.
one,
The vendors
this
call like,
one,
oh, there's a little problem we need to address. So I stressed out a little
these
high
people,
at 3
these
o'clock. this
people presented
afternoon.
already, these people presented. 40 London Road,
That's new. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
new.
20, yeah, that's new.
Davidson, 40 Pearl
It's
Street.
new.
Oh,
Oh,
no, that was the mini
that's- yeah,
splits.
that's the mini split, yeah.
Chris McGuire, oh, that's the same as the fair. Well, maybe Sue put this. Omar, oh, that's the solar.
Yep.
And then 99 River Road, so that's new.
Oh. Yeah, he was here all night.
When I got here through my email, I was here.
About what?
This meeting.
I didn't either. I didn't either,
So I apologize.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let's watch it, you can watch the video of it.
Yeah, no,
If I
I
may.
just feel, no, I feel bad, that's all. I mean, it wasn't.
I can't help how you feel.
Okay. You never do. No.
I would,
I'm just-
watch the video, Bill, just watch the
Okay.
video, you'll get the gist of what the purpose of the meeting was and the direction, basically it's establishing the direction. If you really have some questions, you can ask your first pre-app applicant, because they've sat through the whole thing and have all the details.
Alright.
Almost more than the very last one.
Like you. Make it all. All right, you good? Yeah.
Good. How's it going, man? I've got the Balkans.
7 at 8:07 PM, I can't stop the recess and we get back to pre-application review. Pre-application review,
Sorry.
we're gonna go by the order that people signed in, so we'll start with Jay Stavak for 49/53 West Main Street.
All right, so
There you go.
See you again.
Maury already makes a motion to add 49 to 53 West Main Street to the agenda.
Fuller seconds.
I did or try.
First guy.
Ferguson, I. Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
Hi, John Green, owner, and Jay Stelmack, the architect. Nice to see everybody. Again, we were here about 6 months ago. And we took all your comments to heart, and again, as a 127-year-old 5th generation family business, I'm 4th generation. My kids actually had cravings, so they really. This is, we think, a great opportunity for our family. I think you all know the West Main Street, Water Street iconic corner for everything is one of the most recognizable intersections in historic downtown Mystic. And we want that property to continue to enhance basically the whole community as much as we can. The original design is still our preferred vision, but as we went through it, because of the character and the vitality, and it preserves basically, we think, a lot of the history of downtown Mystic. And you had a lot of comments, the brick color, all kinds of things. We took everything to heart. But during our due diligence, a lot came to light as far as the floodplain. I was here, for the meeting earlier. We knew this. We've talked with Tim and Deb and David with everything. And as we went through everything, we had to do a lot more due diligence for what we were going to do. And unfortunately, the floodplain introduced a lot of significant impacts to basically the design as it fits into the historic district, as it fits into the economic viability of the whole project. So we really wanted to come here to kind of talk to you, show you some of the problems that is presented for us, because we think it presents a pretty unusual hardship to basically keep the character of the community, still doing all the right things when it comes to, because we want to make sure that this building is going to be here for 100 years. And we know what's going to happen in 100 years. As you said, we all have that reality. I have a house in a floodplain. My wife's from Galveston, Texas.
Oh my God.
So
That's where it all started.
So her family has lost their house more than one time, as she saw this. we're still committed basically to doing something really important for this community. We think we have a great architect and we're working with the town. But the challenges, I think, are pretty immense. And we would like your feedback for this. Actually, we'd like your support as we go through it, which I'll come back. Because it's a unique conflict between flood protection, historic preservation, and economic viability. And I think all those, kind of play into effect here. I will turn it over to Jay and I'll have a few more words afterwards.
Yep. So again, I'm Jay Staubach, the architect for Lux Binding Green. Just for my personal history, I do live in a historic area in Weathersfield, 1921 house. So I have a lot of respect for architectural history, as well as being an architect and studying our architectural history. As far as the FEMA concerns and regulations, as well, we have a concern for life safety and the longevity of the building. So that's something that we are concerned with as well. And then also the economic viability of the project. So our original design, I think we had a very simple intent, right? Was to blend in with the historic district, maintaining the scale and massing portions and facade rhythm. And I think your feedback, was that we were pretty much on track. So this is as designed. So when we started looking at the FEMA regulations, and I know some of you got a little bit more history today or education on FEMA, our base grade elevation is 5.3 and our flood elevation is 11. So with the dry flood elevation, we have a 7-foot plus or minus difference. So to meet those regulations, we'd have to do two things to meet FEMA. One would be raising the first floor of the building up 7 feet above grade. And we have the building and then what that would mean from the impact that the floodplain would have. So we would have a relatively significant set of stairs, an ADA ramp, I'm sorry, an ADA lift that would be there. And I think, you can see it definitely changes the scale and nature of the building. Our other option would be significant upgrades to the foundation walls, the slab. And we've started doing our due diligence on that as far as taking some borings and doing the engineering. But the impact of that could be, plus or minus 3 feet of a new slab, which from economic viability of the project would necessarily, make this almost impossible to achieve. As well, based on where the property line is in, with 49, we'd have to build up a 7-foot flood resistant wall with an adjacent building right there. So the constructability, again, becomes extremely difficult. So what we are looking for, and it's probably the weirdest request, is that support from the historic district that this really doesn't meet the goals and objectives of the historic district and would not, in this configuration, receive a certificate of appropriateness. So we've looked at.
FEMA will give you a pass. I'm not familiar, that's why I'm asking.
Well, so I mean, yes, one of the things that we're looking for is that, we definitely still want to maintain some more resilience to the property. And so what level is that? But meeting the 7 feet is all, I want to say, almost impossible for us. I think it definitely has an impact on the walkability of downtown Mystic. I mean, having this great plaza that now you're up against an 8-foot wall, even if you put, old abandoned, looking windows in that are bricked in, we can't use that for any use with pushing it 7 feet above grade. So it could have surface articulation, but if you're walking down the street, and we're looking at that just not for our building, but other buildings in the future, I think it really kills the pedestrian nature of our project.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether it's our retail project or somebody else's, who's gonna really wanna walk up that to shop in a retail environment. They can cite things all over the country, historic areas and non-historic areas.
Well, I think even with the required ADA lift, I have a father who's in a wheelchair. I think it would dissuade me from going in unless I had to go in.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna hurt your traffic.
So I think from a retail perspective, having this elevated 7 feet is a definite hardship. And I think if you look at the economic impact or retail, what your square footage rental is, it's typically 20 to 30% less if you're on a second floor versus a first floor. So there's an economic impact to the, the retail function as well.
So just so I'm clear from the picture, on the far left.
That's 49, that's
is
49.
No, this is
So
49.
that'll be cement windows?
In this rendition, if they had to
In
block
this-
the wall
We'd have
7
to,
feet.
we'd fill that, we could not.
To
use
really
that for-
comply, you
To-
would
To
have.
comply, because I can't really have a floor and then you gotta walk down
Right.
7 feet to get back to
13%.
the first floor.
And we can't have occupancy space
Yeah.
within that person.
So again, because I'm not familiar, are you saying we could get you a way to get an exception on that through FEMA?
We would still have to do all the right things, make sure that we follow all the procedures, working with the town.
Mhm.
And to ask for a variance.
Got it,
Yeah.
okay.
To go,
That's-
but to do it the right way.
We were hearing
Yeah.
this discussion for the first time today.
Yeah, just say time is everything.
So just-
Haven't really adjusted to this.
If I could just add something quick, your guys' input on this would be whether you accept the design or not.
Yep.
You have no input on,
Right.
approval of a variance
Right.
or supporting a variance or not. Your input would be whether or not you,
From a historic district perspective.
From a- right, from
Would
a-
you,
right.
would you be able to
Right.
grant this a certificate of appropriateness within the district? or not?
No.
I would have a really
Not-
hard time
Not even.
with all that.
No.
It's like a brick wall, yeah.
No, I completely agree. I agree. And that's what I was asking them, like, does it go when they go for variance? Well, at least HEC said, yes, it's like a checkbox that helps them. I mean, or is it just our opinion?
It wouldn't hurt us.
Got it. That's what I was trying to.
For
ascertain.
you to support our original design and for us to then have to do what we need to do to see if we get the variance. You don't, it's,
There's
as
a
Tim said, you're not.
number
you're
of things that they would have to
Yeah.
demonstrate to get the variance. It just wouldn't be, it wouldn't only be you guys'
Right.
acceptance
Right.
of the alternative design.
We also plan to do an outreach to basically all our neighbors. We need to show them this as well. I've talked to Bruce Flax from the chamber as well. Again, no one is sitting here going, oh, John, that. Everybody wants to make sure we do the right thing as we do. But we want to make sure that the whole neighborhood basically is, you're in the right direction.
Yeah.
Well, and you brought up a point that resonates with me as it's precedence, right? If all downtown had to be boarded up to 10 feet up, it
You would no longer have a viable.
would not be the town I grew up in, that's for sure.
Right.
And I think there are some things you can do to mitigate the issue.
Yeah, so I think that's,
Floodgate, there's all
Yeah,
kinds of.
there's,
things that we-
there's some things that when I read through that kind of 168
Yeah.
page document, I was going, well, this is one thing you could do. But some things you can do and some things that
Well, and
you
I think
can't.
one of the primary things that they're up against, even with doing floodgates, they're up against hydraulic pressure under the slab.
Mhm.
That's one of the things.
so that's the other big thing.
That's the big thing that's kind of driving really all this consideration.
So if we're creating this 7 feet out, or even if we waterproof this up to that 7 feet, you're basically creating a bathtub, right? So when you get the water pressure on that bathtub, it's gonna wanna push everything up, and that would be including the slab. So it's a simple explanation.
Mhm.
So then the slab needs to be designed, whether we're using a rock anchor to get down into ledge or a 3-foot thick slab on piles to be able to resist that uplift of the water pressure.
Which is why we're going to the borings.
Right.
Just to see
Yeah,
exactly.
To see what's really there.
Right.
So you're still in the discovery phase.
Yeah.
And that's all fill, if I remember.
It is all
correct.
fill.
It's all fill.
That was
Because if you go back,
Folks, there were 100 some odd
I was
years
gonna
ago.
say, right,
At the gas station, it's a pond.
Right,
Yeah.
that's the other thing, also here's boring.
There's rocket something.
So I might add, at Central Hall, that's exactly what we did. We did borings and then we did piles, new slab, resist the uplift, and our commercial space is below DOT, right, look. Maybe you looked at that already.
To what elevation though?
Almost 5 feet above this time floor.
Yeah.
And that was, how long ago was that? 5, 6 years ago?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah, and I think some of the constructability issues with trying to maintain 49 will be that, especially with how close the adjacent property is, getting a new 7-foot tall foundation,
Right.
foundation wall that's waterproofed when you've only got 6 inches between the neighboring property.
Well, and I mean, not putting words in your mouth, given the product you carry, I'm sure you're doing everything to protect what's inside. So I you know, I have every faith you're doing what you can to protect
Right.
the interior. Yeah,
There's something you can do.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I throw out a ludicrous, crazy idea? Because don't you have to, it's my understanding that you have to up, get FEMA approval if you do 50% value or something along that line. What if you didn't make that many adjustments to the building?
I mean, that's one
So
of
that
the
you-
things that we have been exploring is 50%. And I think to, you know, one of John's points, we want to do this right. So if we can make more improvements to the life safety of the building, which would then have a cost, right? If we're just kicking it down the line or not doing those life safety improvements. So we want to improve the building. And I think so if we did that and did the 50% rule and did it over 3 years, we would never really be improving the flood resilience of the building because we'd still be just doing it a piece at a time. So if we can get a variance now and improve the flood resilience, it may not to be to the full 7 foot, you know, but or maybe 3 or 4 feet for flood resilience, which would have less impact on the slab. So we're trying to improve the life safety and the flood resilience of the building by trying to do it right.
And have it look beautiful.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Yeah.
Doesn't to me.
So if we could do a facade at a time and didn't have to upgrade to the FEMA resilience of
50%,
the building. You know, yes, we've achieved the construction overall, but we haven't increased the flood resilience of the building. By the kind of going around the 50% rule by doing it a piece at a time.
Which we listened to earlier
Right.
today.
Yeah.
They might make it 2 years or 3 years.
Right.
And my opinion, solely my opinion, I mean, nothing historic about the building that's there. It's not like, you know, you're saving where, you know. So if they can get a better looking building,
But still the character of downtown, still the mainstay. Still.
Well, that's why I
first-
think we're still looking for your
You
saying that this wouldn't get the certificate of, and our goal
This is
would
our
be
goal.
to go.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
that's-
And the answer might be somewhere in between.
We hope it's closer to this.
Right.
But we obviously.
with the brick floor adjustment.
I told you, we live.
Yeah, I mean, that building, you know, you get a gas station there in the 50s, it's gone. There's
Right.
nothing.
I live in the house of the Wally who owned that gas station.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I know, I'm not putting down, I'm just saying if we get a better building, it's better, you know, fits downtown. It's not like we're tearing down, you know, the first shop that ever existed in Mystic in 16 something. In my opinion, that's just solely my opinion.
We like the looks of option.
Yeah.
I think that's really
That's really what
really
we're
as far as
at.
you
Yeah.
drive this bus.
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
Don't go,
Yeah.
don't, hopefully you don't have to go all the way to.
Is
option.
formally showing a preference towards one of the designs.
Okay.
I think that's what these guys need. That's the reason for them being here. I think you guys can't really do anything else beyond that.
Right.
You can't officially do
That's why I
anything.
was like.
Right.
what-
Well, so we're looking for your
That's-
simple.
That's
simple-
why I'm
We
like-
ask for variance and they're gonna ask us, what does the historic district think? If they might have loved that second design and and we think it's out of character. When it comes to basically the preservation of the streetscape, so.
So if they can, when they do present for their variance, if they can demonstrate that the HDC was not receptive to the second design,
That's really what, that's
Yeah,
all
okay,
we're
that's
looking for, not FEMA compliance or
Yeah,
anything.
right,
exactly.
It's just
I
on
mean, for me.
the
like,
nature of the second
I-
design.
You know, I understand FEMA compliance, I understand all that, but I'm historic district commission.
Correct.
I want to.
And that's what we're looking for from you.
If I can just add real quick too. So as a commission, you're not going to get a referral for the variance or anything. But as individual residents, you can go to the hearing and offer support or any input when they apply and the variance is heard. I would just recommend that as you go, you identify yourself as an HDC member, but you're here as a citizen and not representing the Historic District Commission with your comments.
Thank you, Tim.
Got it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. You'll see us again.
Hopefully. What is your timeline?
Oh, our timeline has changes on.
Yeah,
a weekly
forget
basis.
I
Wait,
asked that question.
We believe this process could take 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, so just not to go down. Deb and Dave and I were talking to about some of the other language that surrounds this and possibly separating the two buildings to a certain extent. Maybe we can have a follow-up conversation.
Sure,
on that.
okay.
And see if that's beneficial and pass it.
Great.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
You're bad influence.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to hear 1 Ashby Street as a prelim.
Moriarty seconds.
Right, vote.
Rich, I.
Ferguson, I.
Moriarty, aye.
Color eye.
Hi,
evening. So, as you guys know, One Ashby has been discussed at a number of meetings, since the past year or so. I've had some extensive communications with Mr. McGuire regarding the application and, what his intent is for the property. We both agreed, in conversation with him, he had put a building permit application in to do the roof. And we both agreed that probably the first step would be to come have a discussion about the roof and see if any other aspects of the building could be discussed in pre-app form. And I'll leave it up to him and you from there.
Thank you for the intro.
Well, One Ashby is a converted single-family house from many, built in, I think, 1840 into a 3-family house. I guess probably they put an addition on it, probably in the early 1900s, and then probably in the 50s or 60s, asbestos siding on it. What I'm trying to do is I've owned the building I'm born and raised in Mystic. So that building I just saw for downtown Mystic would never, Dick Neff's, I bought my first bicycle from there.
Sporting goods.
Why can't they all just be ground level? Better for business. Anyways, I'm just trying to make the building better. That's all I'm trying to do. I own some other properties and I want to put a new roof on there, asphalt, shingles up there. We've had an issue with the windows there. I hired someone to put windows in and I guess they, didn't go through the right channels and everything. So
Why don't you start with the.
Focus. Let's focus on the roof. Let's focus on the roof right now.
Okay, get back on the roof.
Okay.
And
Go step by step.
clear that out, and then we can, if it leads to, we can have a further discussion on some of the other building components.
Okay, basically, I just wanna rip the shingles off the roof there and put new shingles up on it.
Currently a 3-tab roof.
Yeah, it's,
This is the layer up there.
I think 35
We're
square.
gonna strip it down to the roof deck,
Yeah,
put a substrate in if needed.
yeah,
And an architectural installation.
yes.
Architectural shingle installation.
So that's where I figure I'd start.
Pretty standard stuff there.
Sounded good.
It's an older roof. It's got a front deck. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the
Yeah.
property. So it would be that little front deck there. And, above the structure of the house.
You're gonna do all roof decks.
Yes,
All roof decks are gonna be.
Everything,
shingled
yeah.
In this,
Yeah.
in this application.
yeah. So I priced it out. I went to, I've saw the shingles that I'd like to put up there and, that would be stage 1.
Sounds good. to
Sounds
me.
good.
That's good.
Yeah. So,
The roof. You,
Okay, we're cool there?
wait, we're cool there.
That's a good start. Can I go to the siding yet?
You want to get 3 yeses in a row, get you more yeses.
All right, let's see if we can build this moment.
I just want to make the building look nice. I mean, we redid the inside of it. It's beautiful in there. I've got great tenants in there. You know, it's all good. The siding is asbestos. And originally I thought that I could put the, what is it, the hardy board over it
Yep.
and redo the whole building like that. I guess there is an issue with that it would come out too far or something, or.
So in one of your prior hearings, when he came in, when this all first started, one of the concerns was if another layer of siding was put on, it would create a built-out appearance. And the corner boards would have a peculiar appearance, where the trim, where the siding terminated against window and door trim, it would have a built-out peculiar appearance. And that was a concern of the commission at the time.
Yep, correct. I don't have a problem with that. It's probably maybe, you know, that's probably a valid point. So the other option would be tear it all off.
Yep.
And go from scratch there. Pretty expensive. You know, priced it out and it would be.
There's a whole environmental process.
Yes.
You can do 3 bags a day.
Yeah.
You take it down, you
Yeah.
put it in those 4 mil.
I didn't know.
Well, so if I could just elaborate on translate siding real quick, it doesn't, the Department of Health doesn't even, they don't even permit the removal of it anymore. What they require you to do is the homeowner take it off in an exterior application. It has to be double bagged, and you have to have, you have to log where it went. So you have to get like a bill of lading or something from your hauler to identify that they acknowledge that it was in there, and it's going to be handled and eventually end up in an appropriate place. So it's not like it's even, you have to hire an asbestos company to remove it, or it can be done under a standard operation.
Right.
I think one of the things that he was talking about, and correct me if I'm wrong, and feel free to, taking that siding off, you're gonna find that there's going to be built up wood siding underneath it.
Right.
So between taking the asbestos off and taking the wood off underneath it. Traditionally, when the asbestos is directly over that wood for a long time, even if there's a black paper underneath it, that wood that's underneath it is cooked beyond serviceability. You can sand it, it's great, paint it, but it ain't gonna hold anything. There's no more oils in it. It's just been, the heat has just cooked it beyond any kind of suitable continued use. So if he were at that point, he would be looking at taking it right down to taking the asbestos off and taking the clapboards off right down to the sheeting.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd be in for.
Right, you can hire somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Hire Eric, he just did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what he faced. He had asbestos and then
Yeah.
hit slab underneath it, and he took all that off to the original.
Well, I'm on Plan C now. And my good buddy Leo, who you guys all know, suggested that I go look at one of his properties over on the Stonington side of the bridge where he had the asbestos siding and he painted it.
Holds paint really well.
It looked really good. It looked really good, and it's a pretty simple job. So I could go that route. And I guess that route is a little, I mean, obviously it's very cost efficient. So I'm considering that too.
So painting the existing asbestos siding would take it out of you guys.
We wouldn't have anything
Yeah.
to say.
Which is kind
We don't touch
of a discussion, which would leave the installation of windows.
The windows. And I'll tell you, we're probably there, I
Can
think.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Sorry, can we
Yep,
pause,
yep.
can we stick with the siding?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I thought that kind of.
Okay, no, so option A is to put the thing over the top. That would
Yes.
make the corner
Yeah,
pieces look funky.
There'd be some probably peculiar build out
Right.
places, yeah.
yeah,
All right. Option B is take it off, take the underside off, and then put
Party board.
party
Yeah.
board
Yeah,
on that, okay? Option C is
yeah,
paint it.
yeah.
All right, any discussion? I just wanna
Sure.
give the commissioners an opportunity to discuss any of those options. Any thoughts or? No.
Yeah,
I mean, personally, I think option A should be off the table. Of, in my,
Yeah.
in Bill
that's fine.
Ferguson, in Bill Ferguson's opinion. only.
Yeah,
in,
that's fine.
in John Goodrich's opinion, he agrees with that.
Yeah.
But, B or C.
I
are-
just wonder if there's a detail you can come up with, but I think it's probably a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, I think, I personally prefer B or C, but I'm not trying to influence them, I'm trying to get a discussion.
Sure.
All
I
right,
mean, I'm probably leaning at this point into C.
okay,
Because it's a rental and, I mean, I was very impressed when I looked at his property and he did it and it looked pretty good. I mean, it looked better than what it looks now. But I think once I get the, shingles up there and everything and start the process.
all right, so we're good with the roof?
Yeah, one quick question going back to the roof. Oh, you'd said that you had already picked out the shingle. Could you point out the shingle that you were looking at? So it's a 3-tab asphalt. And
Yeah.
What colors are we looking at?
Oh, I thought there was an architectural. That you were going with, I think we were putting the 3-tab back on.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, this is it right here from, Home Depot.
It's architectural.
What is it? GAF?
Yeah,
Probably an architectural.
But it wants to be architectural.
What's that?
It wants to be.
We wanted. to be.
Actually,
we
no,
want-
Royal Sean, you're calling, it's going for a Royal Sovereign, which is a 3-tab. Put the 3-tab back on.
is that?
Well, so
We
now, and then you
prefer
have.
architectural.
Whatever I get, I'll get.
Sorry,
I mean,
sorry, that was for starter shingles only, that was for undercourse.
Oh.
It's a Timberline HTC charcoal, it's
okay. It's like
algae
the previous
resistant, laminated, high definition architectural shingle.
Yeah,
Okay, like,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
I
I was a little
Is this the
confused
same?
there.
99 models of,
All right.
sorry about that.
Yeah.
So-
So,
Earlier to.
And currently it's almost a salmon peaky color.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you looking at now?
Well, probably,
Something on black.
Yeah.
Charcoal, yeah. Okay, great.
yeah.
Great, thank you.
So that, I mean, I priced it all out and everything. I think I need 35 square,
Sounds right.
about, yeah,
100 models,
yeah,
33. and-
Okay.
okay. On the windows. Are we ready for the windows yet? I hired someone probably 2 years ago, must have been, probably 2 years ago, to put windows in. Who had previously put windows in other places around town and done some work for me. Well, I didn't realize. He didn't get the proper permits or anything, and they're vinyl with,
The vinyl replacement window.
yeah, with, wood casings around them. And there's probably out of the 26, probably 18 are in. But
Most of them.
most of them are in, yeah, yeah,
and they're vinyl.
but that's where I am.
I think you were here earlier.
I heard everything, but what do I do from here? I mean, I hate to be a little stickler here, but I mean, I drive through Mystic. I grew up in Mystic. I've lived here my whole life. I see a lot of places with vinyl windows in the historical society area. And I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's a 3-family house with asbestos siding. The windows that were in there, the people couldn't even sleep at night because of the cold air going through. And I mean, if you drove by the house, I think the windows look terrific myself. But what do we do from here?
I mean, I can't tell you what to do. I can tell you my recommendation is to get the builder back and have him replace the windows that were put in with
pull out all the custom windows and,
Cause he should have.
Custom?
well, they were all, I
Custom.
mean, they're not
Custom vinyl.
from an 1850s house or,
Right.
you know. they're
Special
not-
ordered them is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Special-
they're all
special
order.
Okay.
That's.
I think a few builders have done exactly this right here. It's not the first time we've had this conversation.
I know, I mean,
It seems like it's every month, at least one or two.
Yeah.
Right.
I just, you know, I don't know what to do at this point, cause they're all in, there's a few that aren't in. I mean,
Okay, I'm just gonna ask a question. The back of the house is not visible from a public way for any capacity at all. What's the condition for the windows in the back? Are any of them that are on the front applicable to the back? And then you can get the windows to correct in the front? Or is it-
the windows that aren't in are in the front.
So the back is gone.
So the old windows are still in the front. The back was done, the side and the back was, so probably, I mean. I could put all. Like new windows, approved windows in front there.
That's.
I mean,
I
I'm
don't know
just
if-
trying
I
to
don't
work
know
with
if-
it or
I don't know
you
if the
guys.
discussion can develop from there, but
I don't know.
that's something that was talked about a while ago.
Well, I mean. That's good news. If there's any in this. If there's any.
Bill, you are the most optimistic, positive person I've ever met.
I try to be, so I mean, I think. Again, I'm speaking from Bill Ferguson's
Yeah.
perspective, that. If you haven't done the front, don't even,
Well, it's whatever, yeah.
just don't do vinyl at all in the front. And if you can replace, if you only have to replace the sides.
Yeah.
And leave the vinyl in the back,
So
I
from my,
can swallow that
As long as you
pill.
can't see it from.
Right.
my memory,
I'm willing to
I
work
can
with you guys.
swallow that pill
but
a
so my
little
memory, the
bit.
sides have already been done on the front, right? The little two-side alcove.
Yeah, there's one side. Is barely visible.
No, but
Because you're coming from
the street,
nowhere.
yeah.
You can't really. see
But I
it.
think the top is still the original and what, two in the front? on each
I
side of the
literally
door?
walk by there every day.
How about,
Like,
you, not
Probably.
this side.
I've walked by your house like 600 times. I walk by there every day. The sides are visible,
Yeah.
both sides.
Yeah, that's what I was
I
trying
mean,
to.
yeah, driving or walking, so.
So, I mean,
So
Again.
Bill, sounds like you're
So I
ready
think-
to compromise at some level.
yeah, for the back.
The back.
For the back.
Leave the back.
So I think at this point, I think it's understood that you guys are expecting anything that's visible to be an approved window. And
Correct.
he can take that away
Correct.
from you guys.
Correct.
I think at this point, his best option would be to. Leave here, go look at what he has for windows, what his options are for replacing them. Coming up with a plan that would be conducive to what the feedback that you guys just provided. I recommend the applicant, or I recommend you guys have the applicant. Do that based on the information you provided and come back again.
Right.
With a pre-app again on a plan.
Do you have I mean, sounds like you got a photo of the whole house right there.
Yeah, it's just,
How many windows are we talking here? I mean, from that are visible.
One.
How many windows fly in?
I heard the number 20 before.
The 20?
I think there was 26 originally.
Oh.
That would be what, 600,000?
Yeah,
I think the dilemma we have is precedent, allowing one thing to happen.
28.
and then-
20.
there's 28 windows on there
That are
So
visible.
the two,
from the
the
street.
two
that are
sides,
visible?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
28 at the front. And let's.
Yeah.
The two L's off each end. Or sides and L.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a prominent house in a
Prominent
beautiful
location,
location.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be
A
great.
three-family house with asbestos siding.
But it allows.
Prominent location.
So if you're listed, we can say that that way.
It allows 3 families to live in one of the premier destinations in
Yeah.
New England. So it's a very special property.
I agree with you.
And, you know, I think we all just want to see it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great, so.
All right. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean,
Take a couple weeks and
Yeah.
explore some options, Chris, and
All right.
then. Give
I
me a
just-
call if you have a plan and we'll try to get you back in here for a pre-app. You
Okay.
guys you can present your plan in another pre-app.
Okay. I mean, I just want everything to look good and, you know, all I know is my tenants couldn't be any happier because their fuel bill has been cut in half, their air condition has been cut in half, and I understand, but I understand the whole historical thing there too, and,
That's why we're here.
yeah, I know. Okay,
Right, thanks. Chris.
so are we good with all this, the
Roof?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Roof is good.
Roof, yeah,
Okay.
if you did an application for the roof.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no further. Oh,
pending?
Yeah.
and-
Where is
and-
this house with the asphalt, painted asphalt? Or,
Well,
Oh,
the
yeah.
other side,
yeah,
it's in Stonington side,
it's
it's on Hinckley,
on Hinckley,
right by the,
might take a look.
there's the two. What's it called? Seaview? Seaview and then the ice cream?
Yep.
Right across from there.
Okay.
He painted it blue. It's beautiful.
I might-
I mean,
Oh, yeah, I know the property.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That does look nice.
That's
It does look
that's
good.
not
Yeah.
Route 27 for past.
No, it's right on the main road.
That's
Yeah, you'll see it. I mean,
past the seaport.
Oh, past the seat.
Yeah,
Route
yeah,
20 yeah, that's what I'm
yeah.
saying, Route 27.
yeah, yeah, where the two,
Greenmanville Avenue, whatever you want to call it, yeah.
no, further, way further, by where the little
Seaview and like.
Seaview and the ice cream.
Yeah, right next to, there's the
across the
cemetery,
street.
there's
Yeah.
Seaview,
Yeah.
and there's Ice Cream,
Yeah.
and it's
Okay.
the, yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you,
Thanks
thank
so
you.
much.
Thanks for coming, Chris.
All right,
Yeah, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right. Now go to, I'll make a motion to hear Susan Frew for 11 Gravel Street.
Polar seconds.
Right, vote.
Good try.
Thanks, Todd.
Ferguson, aye.
Moriarty, aye.
Polar, aye.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Long
Been a
night.
long way.
Thanks for your patience.
So I'll give you some background. My husband and I have owned the property since 1994. And for 31 years, we've rebuilt it to retire here. And he passed a couple of years ago. And so he was an architect and we loved,
I'm sorry.
he was an architect.
He's an architect, that's why he's.
He was the architect. I like flowers and I like plants, so we complemented each other. However, we ended up with a problem, or I ended up with a problem of not getting enough heat from heat pumps. And we have currently there's a 3-ton compressor and I'm short 19,000 BTUs to have heat. It never gets above 60 degrees when I have the heat on 24/7. And it's in December, January, and February. So I contacted 2 heating companies and both said that you're undersupplied. And so I went with one company that suggested a 4-ton compressor, and they suggested I add another head into the main square, which it's an 1812 Cape Cod, and it's 24 by 24 is the main room. And so they suggested putting in another head there and then switching out. The master bedroom has a bigger supply. So they're gonna put that in the main area and then take the other one, put it the other one. So
How old is the equipment you have?
I think it's about. Well, we were trying to do different things for the past 3 years before he passed, so I would say it's maybe 7 to 10 years.
So it's usable to.
Yeah.
Forward, yeah.
So the constraint is the house is next to a very close to a property line here, and it's attached to the house. And it vibrates, and it even when it's on and not heating well enough, it's very noisy. So I've lived with heating blankets and but so I wanted to put it out into the garden area and.
I'm just interrupt you real quick.
Sure.
Can you slide, see
Put
the,
it by,
by the, see the,
Slide that document towards the.
Where you're
on the other
where
side
you're
of the phone.
put it,
And it'll be visible to
This,
everybody on.
Right,
Keep moving it.
Yeah.
yeah,
There you
there you
go.
go.
Okay, that's,
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
so this is the back end of the house, and this is the property line here. So you can see how very close. And I've learned since then that you have to have 6 feet from the property line. And currently, where I want to put the compressor is about 32 feet away. And there, you can't see it today because there's a shrub there, but in order to put the compressor, I have to get rid of the shrub. So
Does that work being that far away?
I know I have to dig down 18 inches for it to
50
move.
feet, I think.
Okay, that's what
The problem is
I'm
that
surprised it
at-
works that far.
at night, it's, I don't like the noise.
Yeah, I know. I just thought about the just functional distance from.
Well, maybe I'm overreacting, maybe.
No, his
not talking
question
about-
is, no, his question is to help you, is it so far away from the house that it loses the heat, so
That it
you
doesn't-
don't get warmth?
Yeah.
That's all.
Oh,
Yeah,
so-
it's, I'm not talking about appearance. I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Oh,
function.
a refrigeration?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you
That'd
think
be-
that it would,
I think it loses something in
Yeah.
that distance for sure.
My guy told me 50 feet
Wow.
yeah, you.
was
you
the
could
limit
put
of
it
the
out
line
58
set.
feet.
Yeah.
And even
So-
then, like they can add fluid to it and
Yeah.
go further distances.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point, it would probably be more of the thermal disbursement for the exposure.
Mhm.
And that's why he's recommended she put it down a certain distance and the line set and the return line will be, that they're all insulated.
Yes,
Right.
just that was a question.
Well, I also asked my next door neighbor if she heard the noise or if she wanted something. And she said she wanted it between the 2 trees. I said, okay. So so I did,
So,
you know,
so my question on this application is, Ms. Frew and I bumped into each other this morning,
Yep.
and when I was taking off the ivy,
oh,
and from the trees,
Yes.
remember?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure this is visible from the street.
Okay.
But
I wasn't sure either based on what I have seen in my drive-by and
because
like.
I was working on the property adjacent to hers
Right.
So,
this morning.
Like.
I was wearing
right.
very
pictures-
different clothes than you
Pictures
saw.
that
in
I've
Jordan.
seen and the street view that I've seen,
Sounds
I
like
don't
creepy.
know either, and I think she just wants to make sure.
Yeah, no.
That she doesn't install it and then gets called out on it later. If the
Understood.
commission, through your information or whatever, feels that it's not visible from a public way, you guys dismiss the need for an application, then I would recommend you,
I mean, I'll
Convey
put
that to
lattice, I'll put lattice around it.
So here's the way I look at it. If you think it's not visible, she's already talked to her neighbor. Her neighbor doesn't have a problem with it.
I mean, the backyard is, and I know you guys are not, it's heavily vegetated. She has to take one bush out to put it in where it's going to be. And, from all other angles, they're.
I mean, to me, it'd just be a condition. If we find,
Yeah, I mean-
at a point you could see it after the bush is out, whatever, then it should screen. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I can
So
put
that's-
a lovely
Yeah,
lattice.
I'd say go through with the application, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying on
Can we do
my
that?
observation from today.
Just tell her to go ahead and do it, and then if we see
Yeah,
it.
well, I
yeah,
can,
she
I
can
can
come back.
issue the building permit for it, the mechanical permit, you can do the installation, and once the installation is done. I'll come out to do an inspection to close the permit. At that point, if it's determined that it's visible, from a public way, I can say, hey, it looks like it might be, maybe we should.
Lattice it.
Come back in front of the commission and explain to them that you're gonna lattice it.
Yeah.
Yeah, lattice it
sounds-
and
Yeah.
some nice
A nice
shrubbery
screen.
or even a
But
bench or
is there-
something.
Is there a chance it has to be 5 feet off the ground? Given
This is.
location, so all of a sudden you're
Well,
like,
everything elevates up back there.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons also because I'm so close to the water.
yeah.
I'm right across the
That's
street
right.
from the water.
I think like, but I feel like, yeah, you're up from the water, but as you go back to Pearl Street, the church feels like it'd be the same elevation,
Yeah,
and that's.
No,
You know,
it's
whatever
actually,
it
like
might be.
deceiving over there,
Does-
like when you
does it dip
first
down?
start to go down gravel chute on your left hand side right there, there's a pretty heavy uprising, there's a pretty heavy
Yeah,
like
yeah.
plateau over there.
Right.
That if she has to raise it, it's probably going to be like a standard cradle without like
Okay.
being up on a platform type thing. Which again, I think would easily be managed with lattice if a screening was
Yeah.
needed.
I mean, the property I was working on this morning, I have to go up the driveway. like,
Yeah, it
up-
goes, there's a
yeah.
couple properties there that
Yeah.
have a pretty steep incline to
Yeah.
step onto. It's,
So,
you
Again,
you would think
I
you're,
don't know the elevation, but I did have to like
yeah.
go up the. My suggestion is go through the application process without the lattice work. And then when he does the inspection, we can come back and amend the application that we'll probably.
Well, at this point, she wouldn't even do that. If she, when we go out to
Oh, okay.
inspect it, I think
Okay.
that she needs an application, we'll have her submit one and
Oh,
come
okay,
demonstrate.
all
what
right.
she
I
can
just
do.
didn't want her. We've had a lot tonight where people have done the project and then come back. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
didn't.
Yeah, I didn't want to move the refrigeration because it's very expensive.
Right, so that's.
Yeah, you're right.
That's all.
I think the plan is great. Let her go
Yeah,
ahead and if
yeah,
it feels it's
okay,
visible,
yep,
then we
I'm-
can.
Yeah.
I
With
got
administrative.
plants around it and roses or whatever.
You know, and,
Plant
you know,
something nice.
I mean, I think it's easily understandable that the applicant wants to do the right thing.
Yeah.
and-
Oh,
and
yeah, no.
Going in that direction.
and that-
It's
and-
agreeable to anything down the road that might be required.
Yeah.
Appreciate the
That
cooperation.
explains your question when you asked, do I know where the property line was? I was like, I'm just here. cutting hedges.
I've got to, well, I have an A2, I have a survey back many years ago. But I'll have them come out and redo it so that.
Yeah.
We can make sure that it's 6 feet from the property.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
I love your house, by the
No,
way.
by then,
It's
perfect.
a real gem.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Can I ask a random question? Do you have any, through your last name or your husband's last name?
It's both our last.
But I mean, because I knew a Peter Frew spells it this way. and
No.
There was a relative. Just curious. That's that. Thanks. All right. I make a motion to hear Carl Gearing, 40 New London Road.
Moriarty seconds.
Goodrich, aye.
First,
Ferguson, I.
Good evening.
Good evening.
you've been
Good evening, gentlemen.
very patient.
I reached out to Mr. Brennan and his crew there about a fence. I've been in front of this commission several times over the years. I put it this way. Where's the camera for this thing?
Right there. See the blue.
Blue light.
Now you're almost in. There you go.
40 Allen Road. Been in front of this commission, not you gentlemen, but several times over the years for various things. The house, the last time I was here a couple of years ago was for a side yard fence visible from the front from New London Road. So you're
Yep.
going westbound to New London Road.
Yep.
There it is, set back. And what I want to do now is another side yard fence on the other side of the property. 100 feet back
All right.
from Route 1 on the west boundary. Both our sidelines are ancient stone walls, clearly defined boundaries. I'd be building obviously on our side, similar style to this. But it'd be 85 foot long. So 100 feet back, setback from the road, extending 85 feet to basically block the view from our property to Marcia Shaler's empty field next door, which, you know, that's for sale now. We don't know what's going to happen with that. We're being proactive to try to shield that.
Yep.
And so, Mr. Brennan, so I reached out to say, you know, it's been a while since I did this. Is it still a 7-foot height limit? There's no building permit, yes or no? And Mr. Brennan's colleague said, yep, right, you're good to go. And then Mr. Brennan wisely pointed out, because I said it's not visible from the public way, thinking New London Road. He said any public way, capital letters, which is a nuanced correction that yes, any. So from Library Street, from way back over here, they're going to be very de minimis, and I'll show this with some photos. There's going to be a very de minimis, 450 feet away from back here, 350 feet away from this on Library Street. The view from New London Road is going to be, looking at this thing on an angle like this. You're walking along the road. Here's our house is blocking, then all of a sudden you're looking up the driveway. Okay, there it is. You're looking at the end of this fence, and then all of a sudden now you can't see it. So there you can see it. You can't. It's so diminutive, so minor. I apologize for even wasting your time on this, but I want to do what's right. And Mr. Brennan pointed out that if it's visible from any public way, and I don't want the developers that may buy Shaler's to say, what the hell's with this fence, or someone on Library Street, look, 450 feet away to raise hell or whatever. So I'm going to respectfully put an application together to ask for permission to do this, but it's so minor, it's so minimal, and it's going to be white cedar, vertical planks, all wood, and then the top cap is a 5/4 by 6 plank routed with a cove on either side. Is what I've done on this fence here. And the reason I did that, the site conditions are identical. There's underneath here, there was an ancient stone wall that continued all the way. And what I was told by my neighbor is someone had pilfered those stones at some point for something. But underneath there's still, so when I took a rod, I measured out where I was going to do this fence, and I couldn't do the normal 8-foot spacing between posts. Everywhere you go, you think you want to put, when you take a rock, boom, 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 there's a boulder under there, a rock, and rather than getting the pinning and all that, I did something here where this is all behind here is all a structure where I put in a post wherever I could, and then ran stringers and hung the fence on that. So then these so-called posts are actually just architectural sort of faux posts, and I intend to do the same thing on this side yard fence, even though it's a side yard, it's like rear yard. In my opinion, that creates a sort of character of a neighborhood as well. People look at like what's visible from the street, from the public way, and have less regard for the rear, and you see a lot of what I call redneck fences in backyards that just look crappy, and then they get covered with moss and they look out, and it sort of sets the tone for the backyard situation. I want to do a nice, attractive, cedar fence, and that stain, a type of stain that sucks into the wood, so that over time, I will of course maintain it, but if a homeowner were to not maintain that, over time, that would just simply fade out. It would never flake and deteriorate in that way, become a deleterious aspect of the neighborhood. It would just sort of fade out, so it's going to be white cedar, vertical planks, 85 feet long, and that's the gist of it. If there's any comments I could have on what you want to see, with specs, or what.
It's gonna look just like the one that's already up, right?
I'm sorry?
Looks just like the one you already got up.
Yeah.
And what's the height, the final height? 7 feet?
Under 7 feet, and so the grade drops. This is deceiving here. The New London Road, it's flat, but not really. It's a very gradual grade. So we're sort of on the side of this hill coming down from Library Street, and so you can see how it drops down. And so what I've got to do now is run a string the whole length and figure out what is the grade change, and then do, how much am I going to go down in each section? But it'll be stepped down like that, flat top.
That's kind of stepped there.
Yeah, that's stepped down. I think it's 3.5 inches. Those are 18-foot long sections that step down 3.5 inches.
I like that.
I think it looks great.
Yeah,
Well, thank you.
great.
Yeah.
So, I don't think there's any issues. Just gotta come in and.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, well, thank you. I wanted to point out one thing though, a completely separate subject. Mr. Brennan, you all were talking about with this other applicant about the asbestos siding. So it's 25 years ago now. We had asbestos siding in this house. And back then we had to get a special hazardous waste dumpster for waste management with a manifest. First, they were going to send the stuff to Ohio. And then at the last minute, they sent it to Rochester, New Hampshire. They must have got a better deal. I don't know, whatever. We did it all by the book. However, you never know when you take those things off. It could have been cooked like we were describing. We had perfectly preserved clapboard under there that had been preserved like 80 years. Like, holy, it was gorgeous. And so we didn't, other than spackling 3,000 nail holes, we were basically good to go with painting that. It's gorgeous underneath.
Interesting.
So, now it could have been, we could have had an opposite. We lucked out on that. We were very fortunate. So.
Yeah, so that's a possibility. For Plan B, I think.
Look at the asbestos siding still in this town. Somebody made $1 million back in the 50s.
Such a thing.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So I think From everything you've shown, a lot of pictures and a lot of perspectives, but I think they're gonna want, like a material list.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you come for your formal application, if you're gonna do a formal application on it. A material list of, products and sizes.
Yep.
And what it poster.
And probably a closer view of your existing fence. So
Yeah, maybe like a small, a detailed section of the fence.
Okay, all right,
That would
And-
make the application.
More details, the better.
okay.
And obviously, like he just said, material list of the fence.
Plot
Like-
map if you have it.
Like the number of panels underneath.
No, just-
Where there's.
Maybe just like the size of the panel, if
Yeah.
they're 6 foot or 8 foot.
Yeah.
White cedar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the spindles are 1 by whatever,
Okay.
and the horizontal posts are, 5/4 or whatever.
Okay,
All
right.
Kind of lay that out.
okay. And the application used to be, there was like a. paper copy out there
online.
And everything,
It's
so
all-
everything's online these days now.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have a hard time, you can call Sue. You can even, we have a kiosk, you can come in here and do it here, one of the most.
Okay, so it's Sue, 'cause it used to be Linda Galetta.
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
gone.
She-
So
she-
Sue-
Sue-
Yeah.
Sue's great.
Okay, and is there a fee, application fee?
Not for HTC, no.
Okay. All right, thank you,
I,
gentlemen.
I just wanna, I just wanna make the comment, sir, that
Yes.
I've been on this commission probably 6, 7 years and I've never had an applicant stand throughout the whole.
That's good.
That was, that just made it so, I loved your presentation.
The energy was.
So,
I felt like I was an an artist was like.
I
making-
spent years as a land use attorney, I'm
Oh.
retired now.
Oh, okay.
Easy.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You have a great night.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
sir.
Good
All right.
training.
Should we do a half-hour recess?
I'm going home. Peter's taking me on.
So in the new handbook, can we?
I knew you were
limit
hanging
the
around for
time
some
Somebody can
reason.
present these.
All right. No, I'm serious. I wasn't making fun. It was just so, he was so animated and he was like walking.
Sir,
All
can you
right,
please
I make a
introduce yourself to the
motion
commission?
add Peter Springfield, 99 River Road.
I second, Kohler seconds.
Goodrich, aye.
Ernst, I.
Ferguson, I.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
Here we go.
All right, 99 River Road. All right, this is Star Street right here. Next to the corner goes down Pearl. This is River Road here. Grove Avenue there. So this house, 99 River Road, is right on the.
Oh, it's the
corner of
last one.
Star,
Great house.
Star and River Road. And looks like that from the end of Star Street. Mid 19th century Greek revival. This L was probably a later addition, but not that much later. The deck is probably much later. What we're gonna try to do here is fairly minor stuff. So this is the first floor plan, and to orient you, let's see, River Road is here, Star Street is here.
Here, just slide it towards you. We can't see your hands.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Oh, there's the deck. Okay.
All right, so Star Street is here, River Road is here. This is that deck you saw in the photo. Right? So what they want to do is add this connector piece here. The grade drops down almost a whole story here from here. So the only way to get off the deck is through the house. They want to get away off the deck at grade. This will probably require a variance because it's within 25 feet of the front yard. So you can't give me approval until I get a variance, but I informally want to just get your input on it before I go for variance. The other thing we're doing is in the back, there's a little lean-to portico with the door. We want to relocate that and infill an area right here with a one-story infill and a little replicated portico roof here. And the other thing we're doing is on the front, there's an existing stairway that goes a whole story down to the front yard. And right now the landing is very narrow and it basically comes into the side lights of the door. Want to widen that. We'll probably rebuild the stair and the deck when we do that. So an elevation. Let's see. This is the facade facing south towards Star Street. So the existing deck is right here. This is the garage underneath it. And then this is the little connector deck. So we would replicate the railing style, simple pickets. Leave it open underneath so you can see through to the original brickwork at the foundation. And then back here, you can kind of see the lean-to portico, which is kind of similar to what's there now. There's one picture of the back. It's a little hard to see. So there's where the lean-to and the entrance door is in the rear. That door would go away. The roof and the posts would go away. We would be infilling back in this recessed area here. There's a bulkhead door that would go away right there. And our one-story addition would go in there.
I don't know, do we have jurisdiction over bulkhead doors? Because there would have to be a new bulkhead door, no? Or,
No, we're just gonna go down through the basement. We have a walkout basement. We
oh,
don't really
okay,
need it.
okay.
We're gonna get rid of it. That wasn't original in 1840. Although some of them go back pretty far. So from the rear elevation, this is. So this is that infill piece right here. So that would come out to the face of this existing wall. So you no longer have a recess there, but we leave the corner board to articulate that was originally there. And then we're thinking actually, rather than doing this little shed roof, is maybe just do a flat roof here. Put a
deck,
French door here with a deck and a railing. Rather than this uninteresting shed roof. So then there's that, and then here's the wider stair. Going down to River Road. Stair is already there. But these two wings of the deck would go out further now, so it wouldn't come into the side lights. It's kind of awkward looking right now. This would give it.
We've been talking about elevation a lot. What's the elevation of that? Today,
What's
the
that?
flooding, I was just,
They're close to the floods.
yeah, you are.
They might be in
Yeah,
it.
you're probably in it.
It goes up pretty high, actually.
Yeah, the house is up pretty high. Yeah, up first level.
Look at the map.
I think we're out of it, but we're gonna be under the 50%.
Yeah, yeah, I can figure it out.
I'm just joking, I'm just joking.
Not so.
It's you're the last one. Yeah.
One other thing we want to do.
Right.
Rich, turn it on a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Alright, so. This is Star Street, River Road. Right now, they have a curb cut here that brings you in under that deck into their garage. They don't have a lot of on-site parking, so what they want to do is bring in a new driveway back here. There's an old stone wall that runs along here, so we'd have to break through that old stone wall. And put in a driveway parking area back in here. And I think you do have jurisdiction over that wall. The driveway, I'm not sure unless it's over 12 feet wide or something like that.
There's a sign, signs.
But I'm happy to hear your comments on any of it. We're also putting in the sidewalks here. See, these steps come down to the driveway. Right now they have these very dangerous steps running along the house that get you down to the driveway. Those would go away. And we have something a little bit more formal getting us down to the driveway. So there's this landscape plan.
so the gray square is the deck.
Yeah, that's the existing deck.
And to the right is that small gray rectangle's the new stairway widened.
This here, yeah.
Oh no, around the corner. To. Put your finger on the deck and. Now go this towards the house.
Towards the house.
And now.
Oh, right
that's-
there?
That
That's the new one.
That's the new entranceway?
That's where it is,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
It's not an accurate depiction of it, but yeah, that's. where-
No, I'm just
Yeah.
getting reference for
Oh,
what you're
no
saying with the.
Yeah, and then the new rear
The
entrance is
entrance
back,
right
there's the
there.
bulkhead door there.
Okay,
So you do definitely see that when you come down Star Street.
yep. And then you said those are sidewalks in that
These
rendering?
would be new walkways, yeah. And steps. This was put together by Ryan Kent's office.
Okay. Kent Frost.
Yeah. That's what we're proposing to do. We also have a window here. It's a more modern window. And I don't know when this was put in, but it's got inside grills. I don't even think it's an insulated glass window, but it's got grills on the inside. So it's kind of not appropriate for that. So they want to, of all the windows, they want to replace this one here. So we would do probably a Marvin Elevate simulated divided light. We'd match them up in patterns.
The same design that. Is
These
that
are-
picture window and the.
Yeah, we do the picture window. These are casements, but I might go for a double hung instead of casements. So-
Casements are. You leave them open, the wind can blow
And
them.
they look horrible when they're open.
Yes. Had bad experience with casement.
Nice change.
So those are all the things we want to do.
So why don't we just go piece by piece? We'll start with that widened deck on the stairway. and
The wraparound?
comments. Sorry?
Yeah, the wraparound.
No,
Did-
that one right there on the right.
This one?
The front door.
The front
the front
door.
door.
The front door.
Oh, the wide in entry.
The wide
Oh,
entrance.
I like that.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay.
It's great.
I'm just, yeah, I
Yeah.
just want to give him
Yeah.
feedback on each section. Now the wraparound.
I was just a picky design thing, what, I don't like the angle.
I don't, yeah, same thing.
It's just a little, like,
Yeah.
don't listen to me, but
Yeah.
But I'm with you too. It
just seems like it should be, everything's kind of orthogonal and then you
Everything,
get the.
yeah, everything's like square and then you have that angle.
Yeah, so
Any,
the issue,
Oh, he's got an issue.
and you know, there might be a way around it. The issue is the driveway coming into the garage is right
Oh.
here. So we're trying to span across there without any post. The last post is
I
here.
bet you can cantilever that out. I don't know.
We could maybe,
Yeah,
yeah, we could probably cantilever,
You
because
probably-
we're gonna rebuild this, and
you probably can cantilever that out in the corner.
so you prefer that.
Yes, that's the only little thing. The rest of it all looks good to me.
Okay, and then,
I'm
sorry.
very happy to see you getting rid of the lean-to,
Mhm.
that.
Yep.
So you'd rather see the little deck and the railing and all that.
Yeah.
All right,
that-
we will
Yeah.
do that.
that-
Yeah.
I understand parking and it might be the only choice, but I got massive heartburn about taking old stone walls down.
And
He's just making an opening in it.
I'm not defending it, but it sounds like he's just, exactly, he stole the words right out of my mouth. He's not taking it down, he's just removing like 6 or 7 rocks.
10 feet of rocks. Not taking it down, just relocating the rocks to a.
So there is another opening to the farm, to the old farm field. There's openings in this wall as you go up Star Street every so
Yeah.
often.
Is that their property as well? The old farm street,
No.
that field? Okay.
But your point is there's open,
Oh.
Yeah,
opening in the
there's
stone wall.
precedent for openings, but yeah, go look at it and see what you think. This is actually a sequoia.
Really?
Redwood here,
Oh,
really, really tall, so we're just kind of
Really?
be right next to that for your.
Does that belong here?
So funny enough, there's like 3 of them in town that were brought by sea captains from
I never realized that.
California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's it right there, that's the.
So there's another one, I think, on West Mystic Avenue, isn't there, Peter?
Yeah.
What's
Sequoia?
that?
There's another famous sequoia, I think, on West Mystic
I think
Avenue.
you're right.
Yeah.
Sorry, you guys can't see. So for reference, when you're out there, the opening would be next to the edge of the sequoia.
I'd like to say, I'll have to do a ride by.
Is there any section we didn't, oh, the windows, the issue getting ready casement window?
No,
No, it's fine.
Good.
All right,
I think they had cased windows back then.
overall, I think that's great.
Good, thank you guys.
Okay, thank you. Last,
always save the best for last.
last but not least, or something.
I thought he was a little more positive.
Thank you.
I was a little more Ferguson-ish.
Hey, don't see anybody else on the list.
I don't see anybody else.
Hey, but we still have more on the
Oh,
agenda,
God.
so.
Hmm.
All right. Okay. That sums up the pre-application review. Now we go to public communications. Anyone on the commission have any public communication? Anyone on staff? Okay. That sums up public communications. Now we go to approval of the minutes.
They look good.
They look good.
Okay.
This one needs a signature.
Can I have a motion?
Moriarty makes a motion to approve the minutes from.
Fuller
September
seconds it, sorry.
Okay, we'll take discussion. None, vote.
I wasn't here, so I'm abstaining.
Ernst, die.
Ferguson, I.
Moriarty, aye.
Kohler, aye.
All right, so the September 16th minutes are approved. Now we move to old business. Anything from staff for old business?
Outside of you, as you could probably see, we had
Yes.
doing some reaching out, trying to get these outstanding items cleaned up. Some of them are somewhat complex in what they've evolved to, but we're doing the best we can. I don't think there's any other ones that need cleaning up at the moment, outside of the West Mystic Ave, which he said he'd be at the next meeting or he'd have a contract, so. That would be my take on old business, unless you guys want to remind me of something I have overlooked.
No, Ashby Street was the only other.
Yeah.
Which one?
No, Ashby Street, but he was Chris. No, but that was the only thing.
We'll Tim on this
No,
one.
no, oh, no.
Yeah.
He did well. All right, oh,
Probably
Does
guess
DC live out of town?
some applications have to be.
Florida, I think.
Is that the thing?
I think he lives in Florida.
Florida, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I kept hearing.
All right, old business is concluded, new business?
Outside of the new business, outside of those guys, a couple of guys that weren't here tonight for the flood presentation. If you I recommend you watch it because there's more to come on it and it kind of gives you an introduction to what's going to be happening with this and how it's going to affect this commission and what this commission can, the kinds of things that it can expect to see in the future. Coupled with the fact that there's going to be a collaborative effort to try to really make the zoning regulations that are applicable to flood that are being upgraded compatible with what we draft in an upcoming handbook. Just want to watch that to get the initial gist of it. That would be great.
Definitely.
It's gonna go from there.
And then we had a board meeting, 4th of whatever it was, sometime last month. I brought it up with Preservation Connecticut. They got a ton of resources, so I'll email you
Okay.
too, and you guys can take it from there.
Perfect, thank you.
That's all I have for new work.
Any new business from commission? Okay. So at 9:23 PM, we will adjourn. Thank you, everybody, for your perseverance.